Excuse me. Okay, I got to dial in the Blog Talk or else we're not going to be direct connecting.
That is correct.
All the mics are
Start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions, press 2. To speak to customer service, press 3.
Your show is scheduled to start in 54 seconds. "30 seconds until showtime." Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Woo! Welcome back.
Before we get started in this, you know this thing right here? I gotta say, welcome home to my main man.
Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program? Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Welcome to the Tony Bruno Show. Beautiful. On the all-new TonyBrunoShow.com.
Rental discretion is advised.
You know what they say?
The man chosen to save American radio from its horrible future.
Now, here he is.
Oh, yeah!
It's like family. It's like being at the Olive Garden.
You guys are just like family.
That's the fact!
He didn't invent radio. He just perfected it. What's the name of that place? Big Packers.
I want full cavity searches. Everyone, go deep on it.
The godfather of sports radio. It is a final. Here is. Got a big one in there? Tony Bruno. Tony Bruno.
Welcome, children. You are looking live at a freshly poured glass of Pinot Noir. Hang 10 Pinot Noir if you're scoring at home. What year was that, Luigi Cardo?
2007, Holmes.
2007. It's aged well, sort of like this podcast.
Yes, it has.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Tony Bruno Show. My voice is back. Robin's back is back. Luigi's back, growing a beard.
Yeah, man, it's
wearing a
playoff beard.
Flyers shirt. Giving up on the 76ers and the NBA as we once knew it.
We go away for 2 weeks. You see what happens? Up is down, left is right. The whole world has changed.
We're completely discombobulated.
Yes,
the whole world has changed.
And when we're completely discombobulated, you know the world is all good. Welcome. We're back from Houston a week and a half later, and still a lot of stuff going on. And we will cover it for you tonight. We have open phones. Let me give you the numbers so you can jump in here. 717-363-TONY. 717-363-8669. You can come on and talk about anything you want to talk about. We have breaking news on the Hollywood scene. Breaking movie news tonight. I just told you about it a few minutes ago.
I thought you had some other stuff on top of that.
We got other breaking news. We got a Vince Young update. Vince Young.
What is this, 2006?
It's 2006 all over again. We're at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena when USC fans were pouring out of the fabulous facility, figuring their USC Trojans had just won another national championship. Little did they realize that Vince Young single-handedly would then go on and win the game and shock the world and go on to be the third pick in the draft in 2006, go to the Tennessee Titans. And now here we are, how many years later? 11 years later.
11 years later, man.
11 years later, Vince Young is 33 years old, about to turn 34 in May, And now after announcing his retirement, although he didn't say it was official back in 2014 after he played for his last team, Vince Young apparently wants back into the National Football League. And we saw Vince at the Lee Steinberg Super Bowl party. And I'm saying, what's Vince Young doing here? And then I figured, well, he lives in Houston. He's from Houston, Texas. They were honoring Earl Campbell, a Houston Oiler great.
Right.
So there were a lot of Houston people at Lee Steinberg's party because Earl Campbell was there. Vince Young was there. A lot of Houston people were there.
You know who wasn't there? Me. I wasn't there.
Exactly.
If I was there, I would have got Earl Campbell in the program today because I'm cool with Earl Campbell's son.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Earl Campbell physically, unfortunately, was not looking very good
No.
because he's had all kinds. I was talking to some people that I know in Houston. I was saying, Earl was using a walker. Now, he's alive and he's lucid. The problem is because of all the problems he had, and a good friend of mine was telling me that he was addicted to opioids like a lot of athletes who have to deal with debilitating pain, and Earl Campbell became one of those guys who was addicted to painkillers just to keep him physically feeling like he was still alive. And all the years of the abuse of opioids to try to feel better led to the degeneration of a lot of his bones. And when we watched the video of Earl Campbell running for the Houston Oilers, he was just unbelievable. I mean, he was one of the most incredible physical specimens to ever play the game. Watching him run, watching those thighs move around, watching him do those Skol commercials on the beach back in the day.
Skol, baby.
Skol, brother. I'm Earl Campbell, and I don't smoke. But I just put a pinch in between my cheek and gum. Remember? And then there was Walt Garrison of the Cowboys did those Skol commercials. Luigi used to dip, too.
I never dip.
I thought you always used to have like a little...
No, never dip, man.
A little wintergreen thing in
No,
there.
that's bubble. That was like bubble tape.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. Bubblicious. Yeah, I never dip, man.
Because there's some guys who dip and put the full wad of the tobacco, which is absolutely
Right.
the worst thing you can do. But then the other guys who are cool use the little, what are those called? Little pouches.
Right.
Well, now there's that other one where I think it's like a heavy-duty mint or coffee. Have you heard that? Yes. There's a company that they look like little pouches of tobacco, but it's actually full of caffeine, so that you're still getting a little bit of a jolt, but it's supposed to help
it's
people.
ruining you, rotting your teeth and your mouth much faster than drinking
Correct.
coffee.
Yes.
No, well, if you do tobacco, but this is just caffeine.
No, if you do coffee grounds in your teeth.
No,
you
I
know
have
when
to
you
look
drink
it up.
coffee, I'm sure the coffee ground sitting up in your cheek and between your cheek and gums is not really doing a lot good.
No.
A lot of good for your teeth, your gums, and anything else. You know how people get coffee stains on their teeth when they drink a lot of coffee?
Yeah, it's called grinds.
Grinds.
Yeah.
Oh, that's original.
It's called
Wasn't
Grinds.
that an MTV show, The Grind?
Grinds coffee pouches. Instead of dipping, stop dipping. Use Grinds coffee. I was reading.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
No, me neither.
it was like back on the End of the Night show because
Are they pouches like little skulls?
Tim Cates used to put. Remember, he used to dip.
Yeah, but he used tobacco, not coffee grounds.
It was gross, and that's why I told him that because he was worried because one of his friends had mouth cancer, and I said, "Yeah, you need to stop that crap." And I found out about this grind stuff.
So Tim Cates needed caffeine, not just tobacco?
Well, he said that it was really hard because it's addictive, obviously.
Of course, because tobacco's addictive. Sure,
and
coffee's addictive.
And he needed it to kind of like give him that little zip, and so I found this stuff Grinds that would allow him to get that little jolt without.
Is he still using it? We got to get
not.
Tim on the show to
We
get
should
a
find
Grinds
out.
update. Or we got to get some women in here to do some bump and grind.
Would love that.
You know, ain't nothing wrong.
You want to see somebody dip? I'll dip all over this damn apartment.
When you put your legs into that, you put your
When you put your head up on my when you put your hip
hands up on your
my
hips. When you dip, I dip, we dip. Let's get it straight.
There you go.
We might have to play some of that.
I can get you a little dip.
Give me a little bit of that, since we're talking dips tonight. Not French dips.
Love a French dip.
We had a
Are you
great
kidding
French
me, man?
dip at Houston's in Houston, which actually is not where it's from, but it was the oldest Houston's now. It's a great chain. Now it's called, who owns the company, Robin, when we were there?
Oh.
Something, it's a company that owns like 50 chains of restaurants. They used to have a chain called Houston's. There still are some around. They used to be in Santa Monica, California. They have the greatest artichokes. They cut the artichokes off and then they put them on a grill, and then you dip them with the smoky flavor. You know, and you bite the skin off. You know how you used to do it? Like the Italians would do it. You boil it in like water and garlic and stuff. But at Houston's, they would put it on a grill. And then it would get a smoky wood flavor. And those things were the greatest. But their French dip sandwiches, they use prime rib.
Hillstone.
That's right. Hillstone. But they have a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
R&D.
Yeah, it's the Hillstones restaurant group.
Right.
And and they have Houston's. They have
How can you forget about Freak Nasty, man?
I love Freak Nasty. That's why I started thinking about when I put your hands up on my hips. I dip, you dip, we dip.
This is so bad.
Give me a crank it up a little.
So
hold on, Robin. Crank this up a little bit, just a taste.
Baby, them hips, baby.
So they just don't write songs like this anymore.
Thank God. Thank God.
Get that out of there before YouTube yells at us.
It's gone.
I want to thank everybody
Nasty.
really, really quick before I forget. I want to thank everybody that's tuning in on
Facebook Live,
YouTube Live, and Periscope Live.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that has any questions, Periscope is funky because we don't always see them, but I am seeing them right now. So I see Miss You on KMBR, Tony.
That's a hashtag? Oh,
No,
No, it's not a hashtag.
But anybody that has any questions, please feel free to call in at area code 717-363-TONY.
This sounds like an NPR public TV. I turn on public TV, and I love public television, but I can't watch it anymore.
Why?
Every time I turn it on Sunday night before The Walking Dead, because I wasn't really watching the Grammys. I don't watch any award shows. I don't like award shows. Even the ones I've been on, I don't watch. And so I'm consistent. You got to give me that. So I'm flipping around, and there's a show about trains, and I love trains.
Okay.
Okay, can I just
love
Go ahead,
trains.
Conductor Boy. What do you got?
No, I love trains. Not like the little kid who says I love turtles.
You love running train, or you just love trains?
No, I love trains.
Okay. I guess I could
another issue for
I can
another
see you
show.
being a choo-choo master is what I'm saying.
Well,
Oh,
I have done it, but that's just in my previous lifetime.
He does like the trains, yeah.
But I love Train, the group,
I'm Rick
Train.
James, bitch.
That's right. I love trains. I love train rides. Right, Robin and I go up. We used to ride Amtrak every week when we went to New York.
Tell me more, Lenny. Tell me more. Tell me more.
What's wrong with loving trains?
Nothing's wrong with loving trains.
There's just like such the double entendre.
No,
right
it's
now.
not.
Listen, if loving trains is wrong, I don't want to be right, Tony. So
Anyway,
go
so
ahead.
there's a show about trains, all these great local railroads that are still operating. Like, the Strasburg Railroad. There's one up in the Canadian Yukon. That goes,
Okay.
Yeah, it's like unbelievable train rides you can take as a regular person and go back into history. There's one in Reddit. There's one in Robin and I went up to the one in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania.
So these are the tourist kind of rides. So you go around for like 3 or 4 hours. You're just on the car.
Yeah, some of them are even shorter. Some of them are like an hour ride, but you're riding on steam locomotives on tracks that have been around for over 100 years.
No thanks, man.
No, it's a lot of fun. They're a great ride. So I'm watching this on PBS, and all of a sudden they do a great train ride, and then boom, the two talking heads come on for 15 minutes to beg for $172 to get a ticket to a train ride and get the DVD.
You know who else likes trains, Tony?
Who?
Sheldon Cooper on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, he loves trains.
I don't know. I never watched that show.
He
That
loves
show,
trains.
with all due respect, I know it's popular.
I
And
know
again,
too.
you can watch it. Robin watches 50 episodes a night.
It's background noise to me at this point.
You know what it is? It's the most annoying show when you're not watching it, because you then realize if you're in another room and somebody's watching The Big Bang Theory, you realize that the audience is trained seals. The audience laughs at they laugh at every line, no matter how non-funny it is. They act like it is the funniest thing they've ever heard. They must give these people some sort of medication and say, okay, here it is. I'm going to give you laughing gas, so that everything that's said by these dweebs on this show that's unfunny is laugh out loud craziness. And I tried to me too. I try to watch this show. There is absolutely nothing at all.
It's funny, man.
It's nerds,
It's all right.
man. It's nerds. Nerds are not funny.
Nerds!
Anyway, you can watch all you want again. I don't tell people what to do. I just give my opinion on the show. I'm not telling you not to watch. I mean, Miss Robin lives with me. She watches Big Bang Theory. I leave the room. She watches a lot of shows that I don't like. I go upstairs and put on History Channel. I put on Science Channel.
Well, honestly,
I'm watching How It's Made.
that particular show is.
She watch Why It's
is like
Made.
filler.
Listen to the show Why It's Made. Why is this made? That's not a bad idea for a show.
Yeah,
Why is it made?
Why is
Speaking
it?
of Why It's
Why do
Made.
we need this?
Speaking of Why It's Made, what do you got?
Grab those watches behind you, Rob.
Oh, my God, they're so cool.
This is badass, man.
Yes, it is. Now, we're not trying to sell you anything. This
No,
is
hell no.
NPR.
No, but they might be starting to mass produce these ones.
Yes.
If
Now,
they're,
we were telling you about the Joy watches for the last couple months.
Let me make sure that people can actually see what
They're
yes.
one of our
This is
sponsors. And so, we've been giving these away at Super Bowl, giving them away to listeners.
We
and
started
stuff.
giving away at the national championship.
Exactly,
Yep.
down in Tampa. So then all of a sudden we realized, we told everybody this company can personalize. Because Dana White from UFC was digging it. He said, hey, can they personalize it?
Sure.
Because the UFC, imagine the UFC giving out swag. People want swag. We're selling swag. You got a logo on something, people will buy it.
Of course.
So today in the mail, the I don't know whether it was UPS or one of the mail people come by. They brought this package over. So here is the watch band of the watches that they sell. The great Joy Watch Company.
Mm-hmm.
And they have all the different colors, and the band comes off, and you can change the bands. The bands are like $15 a piece. So what they produced just for the Tony Bruno show, look, the band has Tony Bruno on it. Can you see that up close, Robin, on the camera? I'm holding it up
Yes,
closer.
it's a little bit too close.
Okay, tell
Can't
me right
focus.
there.
Yeah, right,
I wanna be able
right
to
there.
see.
A little bit
So
closer.
it's got Tony Bruno on the end of the band, and then it has the Tony Bruno profile head thing on the side, and then it has the other Tony Bruno autograph on the other side. They only made a limited edition of these. They're awesome.
So cool. I can't wait. I mean, how cool is it to be able to say, I'm wearing a Tony Bruno watch?
Yes. Well, who are you wearing tonight at the awards on the red carpet with Ryan Seacrest? Who are you wearing?
Looks good on you, though.
I'm wearing Tony Bruno Joy tonight.
I'm wearing TB.
Exactly. Not available at Nordstrom's, Kmart.
Not yet,
Sears
at least. Not yet, at least.
I mean, seriously, it is so cool.
I think they'll be at Marshall soon. Or,
Goals, baby, goals.
Okay, wait.
Coles, brother.
So
no, hell not with Coles. Hell no.
Hold on. Wait,
Robin's
wait,
going to
wait.
mile it now?
Well, there's no watch inside of it yet. It's
This
just,
one doesn't have the watch in it because I didn't have time, but you can see the black better than the. So see how it's the Tony Bruno signature watch?
Mm-hmm.
I like the red though, man.
I like them both. And the thing that's cool, the reason why this doesn't have an insert is that you see this one has the insert on it, and then I can pop this one out and put it in the black depending on what outfit I'm wearing.
It would have been perfect for Valentine's Day yesterday, man. The red for those who, partook.
That's really pink.
That's not pink.
This is not pink.
It's red,
This is
man.
red.
That's not red.
Yes, it is. Tony, that's deep red, man.
That is not deep
Yes,
red.
it
It
is.
is deep red. What are you
It
talking
looks
about?
fuchsia to me.
It looks fuchsia to you. Is that brick? Is that what that is? Is it brick? More of a
It's
brick?
beautiful, whatever it is.
It is beautiful.
So anyway, that's the latest gizmo we have here, which is great.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Now I'm sure that if anybody wanted the Tony Bruno watches, we kind of have an in, and we could probably make that happen.
And you get a Joy watch, and you get a Joy watch.
Robin, we have some people that are holding here. Are we just going? Are we going blind? I mean, I know we're still opening the. I know we're still opening the show up. Do you want to bring somebody on
just
live?
go
here?
blind.
Because I'm
because
eating
we-
the great. We had Miss Robin whipped together a great
yes, she
dinner
did.
tonight.
Yes, she did. You want to explain what it was, Robin? Or
Oh, Tony was he was going through the freezer and he goes, "What is this mystery meat?" And we found
what is this mystery meat?
and it turned out we had some turkey left over that was in the freezer, and I was like, "Oh, I better
This is
make
white
that."
meat. Now remember, we had an extra turkey. We had a second Thanksgiving thing, so we had a lot of white meat. The breast, the side of the breast. And how great is that? I mean, any kind of breast meat. Tutta tavola a mangiare.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, let me see. I can make a white chili with that. So I just whipped up some white chili.
Some cannellini beans, some fresh turkey meat, onion, little celery,
Some cumin.
some stock, some cumin.
Yeah, people are asking what makes chili white. I said usually probably spends about 2 to 3 hours at Spencer's in the mall.
Exactly.
That's usually what makes chili white. All right, let's just bring up our first. Let's just bring up our first caller. I have no idea who this is. You're going blind, so just try not to
Let's go to
curse.
the phones.
Don't curse in the first 2
Let's go to
seconds.
the phone. You know what we say?
Let's go to.
Hello. Who's there?
You're live, whoever you are.
Hey, Tony.
Yes. Who is this?
How you doing, man? Good to see you back on. My name's Matt. It's calling from Northeast.
Hey, Matt, what's up tonight, man?
Loved, been enjoying you back watching you on Periscope, and it's great to hear you again and all that.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
And you guys did a fantastic job in Houston, by the way, too.
Thanks. We had a lot of fun. It's great to see all the people.
I just wanted to speak.
Go ahead.
I just want to speak a little to you about Sixers. What's really getting to me. Them first not playing. Have you ever heard of a team not playing a player and sitting him home because of possible trade rumors?
No, I mean, what
First
they're doing
off,
is a
with
joke.
Okafor-
I mean, here's the thing with me. Everybody's down on Jerry Colangelo now and Jerry Colangelo's son. I've been down on this franchise for the last 5 years. Colangelo just happens to be the latest guy that's working for this group, Joshua Harris and his boys, and they don't know what they're doing. Nobody in that place knows, from the owner down to the general manager. Brett Brown tries hard. He's doing a good job. They started winning some games because he had patience. Now all of a sudden, now Ben Simmons, they're doing the same thing, and they've done this for years, even before Brett Brown, even before Colangelo. You remember, go back to the Andrew Bynum signing, right? Everybody thought it was a great signing at the time. He had 2 championships. It was worth it.
We held a press conference for him.
Exactly. There was a party, a parade.
That's what I meant, like a whole...
We even had bowling night.
Yeah, bowling night. I mean, who missed bowling night?
So, and again, Andrew Bynum was hurt, and he never played. He never played a game, and he got paid a lot of money to go play pool and hang out. And so I was down on the Sixers, not because they got screwed because I want to see the Sixers win, contrary to what many people think. So then they go through the tanking process, and then Sam Hinkie becomes this mysterious man down in the chambers of the Wells Fargo Center, tanking season after season, getting draft pick after draft pick, then giving up on those guys. Then he finally gets Joel Embiid, and that was a great move because he fell into their laps. He was hurt, but they were willing to take the risk, and it turned out to be good. But now we don't know if it's good because we don't know whether he's going to continue to get hurt or whether this is just, an unfortunate incident. But now, then you draft Jahlil Okafor, another big man, 3rd pick in the draft, right? And now you're afraid to play him because he has a good game. And then you try to trade him, but you try to convince people that there's 5 teams interested in him. And then you find out the facts that only one team, according to multiple sources, the Pelicans are the only team willing to make a deal, but they're not going to give the Sixers what they want. So now the Sixers are screwed. So now they have to pull Okafor back after telling him not to take the plane ride to Charlotte. Then they tell him, come back home, we may play you now. I mean, how stupid. You want to talk about a team just absolutely screwing the pooch as far as trying to get rid of a guy that everybody knows they want to get rid of, and they're afraid to play him in case he has a bad game. I mean, what kind of idiotic organization is this?
Well, his values it's not going to get any lower. I mean, the Sixers are already forced to take at this point 50 cents on the dollar at best. You're not going to get full value for Okafor.
The guy that they're trying to give in New Orleans, a guy I never even heard of, Antifa or something. I don't even know who this guy is. He's got a bad contract. So you're going to trade
another
the 3rd
center.
pick?
Yep, exactly what it is.
You're going to trade the 3rd pick in the draft, a young player who may or may not be really good, and you thought he was good. People thought he should have been the number 1 pick in that draft. There was debate whether Okafor was the best player, and the Sixers got him at 3 at that point.
Right.
Now they can't give him away because the Bulls and all these other teams that were supposedly interested supposedly don't have anything to give them.
Well, the Sixers aren't. They're not going to give anything to the Sixers because they know that the Sixers don't need him. They know they don't want him. He's just wasting away on their bench. So you can go in and you can steal him.
Exactly.
And you can't discount any GM for doing that because if you're Colangelo,
my point is the Sixers are the ones who screwed this up.
The problem with Colangelo is that he needed to be creative. He needed to be the creative GM, and he needed to be the one pick up the phone and trying to steal from someone else. Like you call it Chicago. I'm just using this as for instance. You call it Chicago, or you call it a Phoenix who has a need for center and a big man, and you sit there and you go to them and you go, okay, I'll give you Jahlil Okafor, I'll give you that part, and you trade away some of these picks that haven't even been picked yet, that you don't even know who the hell they are yet, and you try to acquire, I don't know, a disgruntled Jimmy Butler, for instance, or you go and you try to steal away or pry away a Brendan Knight or a Devin Booker. Maybe you shoot for the stars, you give them these picks. You have to get creative. That's the only way you're going to get value in return, because if not, you're just going to give them away for nothing, and that's it.
And would you be happy if they get a second? A late first round or a second round pick for Jahlil Okafor at this point? Because people love assets. All these Sam Hinkie guys love assets. I don't want a draft pick for a guy. You don't know whether the draft pick's going to be even as good as Jahlil Okafor.
Well, let's ask Matt. Matt, now what do you think in return? What would you like to see in return? Would you like to see another pick of someone who may or may not help this team out, or would you like to see them acquire a player who will be part of the growing process and the future of this franchise?
That was the exact point I was going to bring up. Is I don't want another pick. We tanked what is it, 4 years now?
Yep.
We hit 1 out of 3 players, 2 maybe. We need another player on this team to actually grow with. We don't need another draft pick because these drafts are weak. And the biggest thing too is that the biggest problem I have with Brian Colangelo is we got rid of Hinkie because he wasn't transparent enough. He wasn't coming out and tell us. When Brian Colangelo signed on, he said, "Oh, we'll be upfront with you. We'll tell you everything." Mm-hmm. And now you can't sign the guy, and they're putting Brett Brown out there on a stick, waiting for him to fail. Yep. And once this team gets good, they're just gonna get rid of Brown anyway, because what the owner cares more about is the Devils than he does the Sixers.
You're right about that, man. Yeah. And I've been saying that about. So again, I don't just bash Sam Hinkie. I'm bashing Brian Colangelo.
No.
I'm bashing Joshua Harris and his group of guys. The thing that bothers me the most is this team looked like it was making pride. They were fun to watch again, right? You're seeing guys play together. When they finally won that game, where was the game when they hit what's his face hit the big buzzer and on the
Talking about T.J. McConnell.
Yeah, TJ
and Embiid had him by the neck, right?
Yeah, remember that game?
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, this team went on a tear, and they looked like they were going to make a playoff run. And then somebody in the organization said, "I know, Embiid got hurt, but he played after he got hurt on national TV. They wanted to make sure they were going to get him in the All-Star
No, it wasn't that.
Yes, it was.
No,
The city was obsessed.
No, it wasn't.
With Joel Embiid going to a meaningless All-Star game.
They were.
Every strapper on the radio, every damn media honk in this town, every radio talking head was on the same thing. Get me beat in the All-Star, NBA All-Star.
Tony.
And you couldn't look on Twitter without people being obsessed about getting this guy in the All-Star game, which doesn't mean shit.
Tony.
Who cares about the NBA All-Star game? It is the worst joke of all of the NBA. It's even now lower than the Pro Bowl. The NBA All-Star game has less credibility and less meaning than the Pro Bowl, because at least in the Pro Bowl, as bad as it is, the Pro Bowl, there's actually guys who play defense and guys who play offense.
Wow.
In the NBA and hockey, by the way, is bad too. You transition. There's no defensive specialist and no op. You have to go back and play defense, but they don't. Just like they don't in the NHL All-Star game. So right now, the best All-Star game is still Major League Baseball. It is the only sport that doesn't bastardize its rules. They don't tell Aroldis Chapman, "Hey, buddy, don't throw 99 tonight or try to hit 100. Keep it down to like 88 so we can get some runs scored." That's what the NBA does. Don't go out there and play defense. We want to see 140 points. We want to see guys dunk so we can all jump up like the world has just cured cancer. That's how preposterous and how idiotic the NBA All-Star Weekend is. It is the biggest joke in the history of sports. And assholes in this city and every other city that has an NBA franchise act as if you don't make the NBA All-Star game, the world is going to come to an end as we know it. Who gives a crap? Who gives a crap?
And the other problem with the NBA All-Star Game is now that they gave the players the votes and they made a mockery of the votes, you have someone like Joel Embiid, just strictly from NBA standpoint, you have a player like Joel Embiid who's building his brand on social media. He knows how to use it.
Yeah.
He can be the next face of the NBA, and as far as centers go, and Big Ben.
Especially now that LeBron's focusing on Hollywood and taking over Hollywood.
And well, and the other thing with the Sixers, it's like Embiid comes in, he goes, "Oh, we're winning. I want to win. We want to win," and then suddenly it clicks in someone's head. "Oh, we're winning too much. We might not get a good enough draft pick." Who the hell are you going to get at 14 anyway? Unless you got the 1 or 2 pick, you're not getting much anyway. Let's get another player. Let's build this thing and finally get in the playoffs. You just got to get in.
Exactly. Now that they got 21 wins, everybody wants them to keep
if you don't get
losing.
in the 8th seed, then you can't do anything. If you get in, you get in. This is the first time in how many years that people have been excited about the Sixers. People are going down to Wells Fargo Center. It's ruckus again for the Sixers. It's almost Embiid can be that Allen Iverson-esque player, not Allen Iverson talent-wise, but that excitement back in the arena, and someone clicks, "Oh, we're winning too much, but let's raise the ticket prices and let this guy sit." Who knows if he's even really hurt at this point?
I don't know either, and you're right. When you lose the trust, you don't trust the process anymore. I don't trust anything this franchise
How can you
does.
trust the process if you can't trust the people that are pulling the strings?
Exactly.
That's the
Matt,
problem.
good call, man. I appreciate your call. I had to go off on the All-Star game.
All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
Thanks,
Matt.
Thank you, guys, and I appreciate everything you do, and keep up the good work, Tony.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I know I'm right. Now, most people who have a modicum of logic in their brains will agree with me on the NBA All-Star Game. I don't hate basketball. I don't watch the NHL All-Star Game because the NHL All-Star Game is the same thing. You have defensemen. Hockey has guys who play forward and defense, and then they put a goaltender out there, and it's a shooting gallery. But the NBA All-Star Game, there is absolutely zero doubt that it is the worst of all the All-Star Games. It is a bastardized version of the sport that it supposedly represents. And as I mentioned, in the Pro Bowl, they're guys who play defense. They're not just stopping there when the ball is snapped. They go after the quarterbacks. They change the rules because they don't want guys getting hurt, but it's not as bad as the NBA All-Star Game. The Pro Bowl now is more credible than the NBA All-Star Game. It is unwatchable dreck. The only thing you do with the NBA All-Star Game, you bet the over, and you go somewhere else and watch something else. You set it,
And forget it.
Forget it.
And forget it.
It's like the Ron Popeil. What's the
The rotisserie grill,
Yeah,
man.
what's it called? No, it's got a name, though, and I always forget the name. The Showtime rotisserie.
The Showtime rotisserie grill.
That's what the NBA All-Star Game is. Just wait for the highlights, count the dunks.
The thing is,
set it and forget
That's it, Rob.
Set it.
Did you see the little shoulder shake she did? She said, "Set it and forget it." The thing is, though, just to piggyback on what Matt was saying, real quick, is that and you were right, Tony, about the whole city and everyone was up in arms about getting Joel Embiid into the All-Star game, which anyone who knows anything knows that he should have been playing in the game to begin with. The problem was the Sixers got him hurt by having to showcase him on national television. He should have never played. You're talking about when they say, "Oh, we didn't know he's hurt." They've had this guy under a microscope since the day he was drafted. They know everything that's wrong with him if there is something wrong with him. They knew that he was hurt, but they wanted to play him anyway. Why? Because the Sixers were on national television. The problem that happened with Jahlil Okafor was when they drafted Okafor because he was supposed to be insurance for Embiid in case he didn't work out. If they would have done this right, the process would have worked correctly. If they would have stayed the course, drafted Embiid, trusted in the fact that he was going to be better, still have taken Simmons, but when Okafor was there, you took a Devin Booker or took Antetokounmpo and drafted for need as opposed to insurance, and this process would be over. We would be done.
The process is a failure. I'm sorry. At this moment, I won't even call it a failure. I'll call it incomplete.
It just needs to end, is what it is. That's it.
And you're right. They hit 21 games, and now they win a couple games here and there, but they were on a roll.
Yeah, they were.
And listen, I believe Embiid is hurt to some extent.
Yes.
I'm not saying there's no way he would go out there and be a part of a fraud like this organization has been. For
no,
the
I
last
do
5
believe
years.
he's hurt. Absolutely, he's definitely hurt.
He's hurt. And now he's going to the New Orleans anyway. He's not going to play because if he played, it would be because everybody told, and I've been saying it for weeks. If they hold him out and then he goes and plays in the futures game, the credibility, the NBA should shut its doors.
Absolutely.
And should be sued for fraud by every fan who's ever paid for a ticket.
I don't think you're going to get anybody disagreeing with that. Seriously, I don't. I just think
the obsession of people in this town to get this guy on the All-Star
Well, it's just because the Sixers are what they are, and they just want to have their. I mean, that's just cheerleading.
The whole
Tony, that's just fans being fans and cheerleaders.
No, it's
it
not.
is. That's
It's
just
ludicrous.
It's people just being cheerleaders and saying, "I want my guy in
It's
there."
like now.
But
You know what the big story is? Look at all 4 players that could replace Kevin Love in the All-Star game. Who gives a shit?
I understand.
Oh, 4 players. Let's have guys all cry. Let's have all these cities crying about, my guy should go there. And then when the guy goes there and gets hurt, they'll be the first people to scream about, why was he playing in a meaningless All-Star game?
Tony,
it's a joke.
I don't think anyone's going to disagree with that. I'm just saying that.
You tell me the NBA All-Star game is not the worst All-Star game of all the sports.
Personally, I think the NHL one is. That's just me. The NBA All-Star game.
You hate hockey.
I don't hate it. I mean, look, I'm representing, bro.
That's because somebody gave you a free shirt.
Well, yeah. But it's also that perfect blend. It's that 90% cotton, 10% polyester. It's perfect blend. It fits good.
We brought you back one.
It contours well. It's good, man. It's good. I actually like the NBA.
Contours well?
Yeah, it contours well.
Contours
well. Got your contour right here.
It shows his curves.
That's right.
But I have breaking Weather Channel news now because everybody's obsessed. I don't want you to run out to the grocery store and buy milk, butter, eggs, and toilet paper tonight. But according to the Weather Channel, 17 seconds ago, so this is fresh out the kitchen. Winter storm Pluto.
Pluto.
We're up to the P's already?
Jesus.
Hashtag Pluto. Not from Disney World, where Luigi and I finally got to get together and hang out. Tropical winter storm, not tropical. This is winter storm Pluto. Has already brought heavier snows to part of upstate New York and New England, and more is on the way.
Yeehaw.
So there it is. But we've been lucky here, from
we've dodged major bullets,
like Pennsylvania down. The last couple of storms have hit north of us, up in New York and the New England states, and all the way up.
I mean, we did
Maine.
get some snow here, but it was
very little. I mean, we lucked out.
It was pretty ridiculous that the schools closed.
They closed the schools. Well, you know why? They have a certain number of days that they allow for, snow days. And since they haven't had any, they figured, what the hell? Let's do a day and give the teachers a day off and give the kids another day off.
Right.
But so Winter Storm Pluto, making your move, sucker. Make your move, as Bobby Bonilla said to a New York sports writer so many years ago.
That is a great clip. The problem is it's so low you can't pull the clip.
Make your move, sucker.
Make your move, sucker.
Make your move. So there's my all-star tirade for the night. And by the way, the trade deadline is next Thursday, February 23rd at 3 p.m. So let the mass speculation continue for another week.
It's at the point now where, listen, if you didn't deal him last week, you might as well just hang on him until draft night. That's it. I mean, if you're going to take, no one's going to take them. You're going to get ripped anyway. You might as well just sit back, do a little homework yourself, see if you can find a player somewhere that you can, pry off of someone, do your homework, and maybe you can make this trade work out in your favor in the end, because you're going to take pennies on a dollar for Okafor. It's just that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
It was a waste of trip.
You're not going to get top three. You're not going to get top 3 talent in return. So do some homework. Try to find a team that makes sense, where you can find a player or two in return and help this team out with players that have already been picked, as opposed to taking players who haven't been picked yet and sitting there shooting what? Since we're shooting what? Maybe 25, maybe 30% on these picks?
I don't know.
So I don't know. It's not really what.
All I know is that their starting point guard, who's been one of the heroes of this team, was they picked him up off the street.
TJ McConnell, absolutely.
And one of their other better players, Ilyasovich,
Ilyasovich
got him
great.
in a trade.
Yeah.
So you don't have to keep getting ping pong balls and praying that some college kid's going to be the hit this time.
The best part about it is the Sixers, the team that's on the floor. They're taking away Simmons. They're not letting him play. They're taking away Embiid, who's not playing. But guys like, they're forcing the tank again is what they're doing.
Yeah.
But guys like TJ McConnell
they play hard. The guys who go out there play hard.
They have come up with their own coup. They're going against the organization. They're telling them, we're not going to be pushovers. We're playing to
and
win.
Occasionally they find a dog meat team like Charlotte, who has this dumb idiot Nick Batum, guaranteeing wins, and then the Sixers go down there and slap them around like little girls.
Exactly. We have some people here online that wanted to break into that. Danny Dow from the fantastic cornhole.
One of the greatest cornhole players.
Hey, watch a cornhole.
Not only one of the greatest cornhole players,
but the greatest board builder.
Oh my goodness, they are so fantastic.
He's a craftsman.
He is a craftsman.
He said, "Great rant, Tony Bruno." James Keola says maybe the All-Star NBA game should consist of every team's 6-man candidates only. Somebody's asking where Corrado is.
I don't know.
He's in North Jersey.
Oh, I put an APB out for him earlier.
He's in North Jersey.
I figured he's heard about tropical storm or winter storm Pluto and went intergalactic somewhere.
He's in North Jersey. We won't be seeing him no more.
Now,
I have no
idea.
Which exit?
I have no idea. I'm still waiting to see if Lee Steinberg's contacting him back. That's why I'm checking the phone, too.
Yeah, we're trying to get Lee on the show, and now obviously it was last minute because I saw his tweet that he had signed Vince Young to Lee Steinberg's.
Vince is only 33. I mean,
34.
It's
not,
but that's like 1,000 in NFL years, Robin.
You know, he had the last time. You know when the last time Vince Young played a game in the National Football League? Was for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2011. He lost to the Seattle Seahawks in the game in which he threw 4 interceptions. Remember, that was the year the Eagles signed him after all the years he had in Tennessee.
Dream team, baby.
And then he said, we got the makings of a dream team. That's when the Eagles signed all these free agent guys.
Ronnie Brown
and Nnamdi Asomugha and all these guys. And then Vince Young came in as a backup quarterback, said, and he played. I think he played in that year for the Eagles in 2011. I have the stats here.
I believe he started like 2 games, I think.
No, he started 3 games. So his last game was Seattle when the team lost 31-14. He was 1-2 as a starter with the Eagles. The Eagles, remember, were supposed to be a really good team, and they were 4-8. So that game that they lost to the Seahawks dropped him to 4-8, and that's when the roof fell in on the Philadelphia Eagles and, of course, Chip Kelly and the whole gang. That was the end of Andy Reid, I believe. Wasn't that his last year?
Pretty certain that it was.
So anyway, Vince Young, who's going to be 34, as I mentioned to you earlier, and last played in 2011, once back in the National Football League. Now, he's got a right to play if some. There's no quarterbacks out there.
Hey, man, if they want to sign you, God bless, man.
Now, I mentioned after the Eagles released him at the end of the 2011 season, he went to the Buffalo Bills training camp, was cut, never made the team. He went to the Green Bay Packers as a backup and didn't make the team and was cut. And then he went to the Cleveland Browns in 2014, which was the last team, but he never played for the Bills, Green Bay, or Cleveland. Right. So his last actual NFL game was for the Philadelphia Eagles against the Seattle Seahawks. And when he lost that game and obviously did not have a good game with 4 interceptions, the Eagles benched him at that point, and that was the last game he would ever play up until now in the National Football League. But the guy had an unbelievable. I remember being in the Rose Bowl when he beat USC. I remember sitting up there in the Rose Bowl, and all the USC fans were going crazy. They had the game won. They were leaving. They were leaving like the Atlanta Falcons fans in the Super Bowl a couple of weeks ago. That game was in the bag, baby. And they knew they had. That, to me, is one of the greatest we can't stop one guy games you'll ever see.
It's amazing, isn't it?
He was the only guy they had to stop USC's defense. And they couldn't stop him. Whatever he wanted to do. He had like 400 yards total offense in this game. He had 200 yards passing and 200 and something yards rushing in that game.
Everybody knew it was Vince Young, and they still couldn't stop it.
Exactly.
They still couldn't stop
And so while everybody disses the guy, or a lot of people do, that was still one of the greatest college football championship performances you'll ever see by a guy that everybody knew he was the only guy you needed to stop, and they couldn't do it. You know, the Patriots, they have a lot. Brady, obviously, in the Super Bowl, you knew you had to stop him, but you also knew you had to stop the rest of the team, too. You had to stop Edelman from making an unbelievable catch an inch from the ground.
Tony, I mean,
you had to stop everything they were doing when they were down 28-3. But Vince Young, all you had to do was stop him.
That's it.
One guy. You have 11 guys trying to stop one guy.
You had one job. One freaking job, man. One guy. That's it. I mean, you have to kind of put, I mean, it sounds kind of crazy to talk about it this way, but you have to kind of put it on the same kind of level as like Wilt scoring 100 points. Everybody knew it was one guy you had to stop, and you still couldn't do it. He still dominated, and Vince Young took over that game by himself and sent everybody home crying.
So the question now is, will Vince Young, will somebody say, hey, look around the league. Look at the draft. There's not a lot of quarterbacks that people are clamoring for who look like franchise guys. That doesn't mean they won't be. But it's not like last year, you know, where you had the top two guys as quarterbacks. Now you got a guy who may not go until late in the first round, the first quarterback.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're talking about the kid from North Carolina going number 2 overall.
Yeah, but I don't know about that.
Do you pull the trigger on him, the guy from North Carolina? I don't know, man.
See, if you're in that position, I mean,
if you're saying, Fran, you kind of have to. I mean, you don't even have a quarterback on the roster. You got Blaine Gabbert, you got Kaepernick, and that's it.
Well, that's 2 quarterbacks on the roster.
No, that's not even a half a quarterback on the roster. You got to make some kind of move. I think it's the kind of like, you know, as we're talking about, it's the perfect storm for a guy like him to be drafted way above his draft grade or where he should be drafted because of the fact that he is a quarterback and there's a team at the top, which there always is, who's in need of a quarterback.
No, I agree.
Maybe that's what it is, man.
Maybe Lee Steinberg, as his agent,
I'm still checking on Lee,
is looking around and saying, hey, you know what? Vince Young, he looked in great shape to me. I'm sure, you know, 33 sounds old as a quarterback, but you look around Lee, Tom Brady's 39, okay?
Yeah, but
I'm not comparing him to Tom Brady.
I'm
not comparing. I'm just saying physically, at 33, if you keep yourself in shape, why wouldn't anybody give him a shot? People were saying the same thing about Michael Vick when he came out of prison. You know, well, nobody's going to take a chance on him. You know, and then when he came out, who took a chance on him? Jeffrey Lurie and the Philadelphia Eagles gave him the job.
Well, and I think that there's also a different, I think that in the last 10 years, the types of regimens that they have with hormone replacement and all sorts of things that really keep people in top form. If you don't get hurt, age doesn't really necessarily have to mean anything anymore.
Well, you got to remember, these guys are already physically gifted to start.
Right.
And they're not exactly working out at Planet Fitness.
But I think
they have the best trainers and nutritionists
but what I'm
in
saying
the
is
world
that
working
unless,
with them.
like before, age mattered, and it also had to do with the fact that they would get hurt. Nowadays, they have different ways of coping with pain and with being hurt and injured.
But he wasn't. He's not hurt.
He's not hurt.
That's what I'm
stuck.
saying.
That was
I'm
the
just
problem.
saying that there are ways now where 33 means nothing anymore.
Remember,
but in
though,
the
the
NFL,
year,
it's different, though.
His
Rob.
last year, though, in
Before-
Houston, his last year in Tennessee, he made the Pro Bowl.
Yes, he was good as a young quarterback. The thing
No,
is,
this was his 5th year in the league.
Yeah,
he
but
had a
still
couple
a young
of down
quarterback
years.
there.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, though, is that, 33 may not be. It's not old. It's not.
It doesn't
old.
mean as
Here's
old
the
as it
Here's the
used
difference,
to
though.
be.
But for a quarterback like Vince Young, who relies on his athleticism more than anything else, and his legs and escapability and the ability to run, once you start getting up there, you start losing a step, you lose it. That's it.
That's my point.
Because he's never
I don't
been an
think
accurate quarterback.
It doesn't have to mean as much as it used to. I think that age used to mean more, and now it doesn't, because there are different ways of dealing with things.
But
just think of it. Look at the Houston Texans, his hometown team.
Go ahead.
They're looking for a quarterback.
I got Brock. I mean, I don't know if they're going to completely give up on the guy. I mean, they just paid him $100 million.
They have to pay him, so they're not going to get rid of him.
Correct.
Why wouldn't you bring a Vince Young in as a potential backup?
Well, I mean, because they
see
have.
if he has
well,
anything
they already
left
have,
in the tank.
Well, remember, Tony, they already have Tom Savage down there too.
Yeah, but
you know who already replaced Brock Osweiler during the season as a starter, and who was primed to start the playoff game before he got hurt.
Listen, I'm not Vince Young's agent. I don't know what he has
Thank
left.
God.
But I don't know what he had. But he hired Lee Steinberg, who's one of the best sports agents of all time.
If anybody's going to get him hired, it's going to be Lee. And if anybody's, if he's going to make an NFL roster, it's going to be because he still does have something left in the tank. I don't know. Can Vince Young automatically, overnight turn into a quarterback? Maybe. Who knows, man?
Tony Romo's how old now? 36,
I don't know.
37?
Yeah, but he's probably like 1,000 as far as like his bones are concerned.
And something he's going to get a job.
Oh, he's definitely going to get a job. Absolutely, he's going to get a job.
And I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm not saying one guy should or one guy shouldn't. I'm just saying
Tony
you
Romo's
never know.
36.
He's 36.
So if Vince Young at 33, who hasn't played in 3 years, is old, Tony Romo, who had a year off and didn't take a beating except in preseason, which led to Dak Prescott.
Well, if you're saying that, speaking about like not taking hits as far as like removed from NFL contact, then yeah, he's pretty freaking fresh because he hasn't taken a hit in like 5
Plus,
years.
he's very mobile, which Tony Romo isn't for the most part.
And if he hasn't lost a step, and if he can still move, maybe Tony, maybe
it'll be interesting to see if he doesn't get any takers. He doesn't get any takers. I'm not sitting here saying he's guaranteed to get a job.
I will say one
with the lack of quarterback talent in this league and guys that just keep getting jobs.
It's still wide open
for McNowns and all these other guys that just keep getting jobs over and over again, bouncing from team to team. Well, it would be interesting to see, and that's why I hope we get to talk to Lee because he's got his finger on the pulse of what these NFL teams are thinking.
Is it a horrible thing if you're a team like just like you said, like Houston, who brings in Vince Young for absolutely nothing, for pennies on the dollar, on the cheap, to push these guys because he's hungry and he's going to be playing for for his livelihood? Nah, it's not the worst thing in the world.
So that's an interesting development, something that
absolutely
came out in the news today
that
you're not going to hear much about.
It's a name you wouldn't even think twice about in the past 5 years.
It's funny because I just saw him. That's what's weird. I hadn't seen Vince Young in a long time, and then I see him in Houston at the Lee Steinberg party. And then I said, well, he's from Houston, and obviously Burl Campbell, and I put all the Houston connections. Because you always try to find a story, because that's the inner former journalist in me. What's going on.
Oh, you mean actually look for a story?
Yes, like
okay.
I used to do. Right. But now there's no journalism. Now some guy on the street with a camera could be a journalist. You don't even have to go to grade school. You don't even have to have a GED to be a journalist now. You got a camera, you're somewhere, you see news.
You're a journalist.
You got a house on fire, you take a video of it, you send it to the local TV station, you're a TV cameraman.
Right.
You're a journalist. I don't know whether that's good or bad, but people have access to information everywhere now.
Sure.
So people break stories everywhere by being there at the right time. I'm not saying I knew Vince Young was getting back in the NFL, but I just saw him at Lee Steinberg's party, and then boom, a week and a half later, you know what happens? Vince Young gets signed by Lee Steinberg.
Right.
During the Super Bowl party.
Now, there are people that are talking about the fact that the video is frozen.
Mm-hmm. It is frozen?
Yes.
Do I have to sing Let It Go? Or let
now,
it
apparently the audio is
just
fine,
let it
so
go,
that's
bro.
honestly what we care about. We don't really care.
Something else?
I mean, it's great to have the video, but at least y'all can hear it. So
what's frozen? Everything or just the Facebook?
It's just the video. It's just the video.
All the video streams?
Well, the reason why is that we, in this particular house, we are having internet issues continuously. Thank you very much.
It is an outrage.
Comcast.
It is an
Damn
absolute
it.
outrage.
And so our bandwidth, so being able to take phone calls and doing the video, as long as the darn audio is working, is fine.
Yes, it is.
Anyway. 717-363-TONY. That's the number to call in.
Right?
They do work. We have someone on the line.
Let's go back to the phones. Let's go back to the damn phones, so I don't have to yell anymore.
Well, why don't you take us there, Tone?
Let me get it ready here.
Come on, bro.
Let's go to. What do we have?
I don't know.
Hello?
Mystery caller, you're live.
Enter and sign in, please. Who's there?
What up, yo?
Oh, Jose with the pregnant pause. What up, Jose?
What up? What up, Bruno's? What up, Miss Robbins? What up, homeowner Joe's? What up, Luigi's?
I thought it was a drop when I heard the first what up, because I never know anymore.
No, me neither.
Did you hit the what up?
I hit it.
Did you hit it?
Yeah.
What up?
I just hit it, too.
There you go.
There we go.
By the way, speaking of hitting, do you think Joel Embiid hit that wag that was in the picture with him?
Yo.
Probably.
Yeah, why
not?
not?
Are you kidding me?
You hit it and quit
Smash that 3 ways a Thursday.
Exactly right.
I ain't saying she a gold digger. I'm just saying.
I agree. She's hot, though.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you'd hit that and quit it, right?
I don't know if I quit it. I'd probably hang around for a little
Well,
while.
what I mean eventually. I don't mean after the first
Invest
day.
a 401k and that shit. You
Damn right. What up, Jose?
Nothing much, yo. You know what we say what up to while we're talking to?
What do we say?
What up, Clearwater, Florida?
We got Major League Baseball. We got guys stretching and throwing, long tossing in Florida. We got guys tossing salads in Florida.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Does it excite you? I love how desperate we are here. We get excited when the equipment truck gets loaded up and takes a drive down to Florida.
How many bags of sunflower seeds on that truck?
I don't know. Did you know how many bags of sunflower seeds they had on there, Jose?
Probably about $1 million worth.
$1 million worth.
Exactly right, man.
Sunflower seeds.
I can't find my I had my baseball music loaded, and I probably didn't put it in there yet because I got all the NFL, I got all the NBA, I got college basketball.
You got the.
I got the NHL music. Oh, wait a minute.
What do you got? Hey, there you go. All right, there you go, son.
What do we have, Jose?
MLB on Fox music.
MLB on Fox baseball action, yo.
Speaking of, we're going to talk about how you and Joe Buck were talking earlier,
this
too.
is Joe Buck, yo.
Exactly.
Alongside Hal Reynolds and Tom Verducci, yo.
No, Harold Reynolds is no longer with the Fox organization. I think he's at the MLB Network.
Oh, Tom Verducci and
I think my boy
facts and come back and see.
On the dugout.
Wasn't Ron Darling working with them now, or is he still at MLB? I can't keep track of all these people.
Nah, it's too many people. It's too many moving parts, Tony.
I know. I love Ron Darling, by the way. Good friend of the program. We got to get him on this.
Oh, he's a darling, you know.
No, he was a great pitcher too. You remember Ron Darling?
I know who he was, Tony.
All right, I'm just checking, man. Hawaiian, you know.
Number 12
really?
for the New York Mets, yo.
Exactly right, man. Other than that,
Ron Darling. Other than that, we got Freddie Galvis and Michael Saunders not going to the WBC Classic tournament.
Exactly right, Freddie Galvis.
Michael Saunders said, and I quote,
Go ahead. Give me the quote.
Freddie Galvis is coming in with a groin injury, yo.
Yes, he is. He's coming in already hurt.
So basically, he said, we're 2 days in, and he's already limping around with a groin injury.
Well, that's what happens when you go down there and you don't stretch. It's like what happened to Miss Robin the other day. She didn't get up and stretch, and she pulled a muscle. You know, baseball players, they have to. I'm not saying these guys don't work out. Obviously, these guys train all the time. But, you know, you go down to Florida, maybe a little chilly in the morning. You're coming from the Dominican or South America where
Muscles
it's really
tight,
warm.
yeah.
And then you go to Clearwater where it's not, 80 degrees in the morning when you're out there loosening up. And you pull a muscle. You pull a groin. Usually those guys pull their own groins until the groupies arrive later on in spring training.
And then somebody else can pull it for them.
Exactly right.
Ba-dum-bum.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they usually say down there in spring training?
Hey, where are the white women at?
That's what they say in about a couple weeks from now.
No, it's you know what they say in spring training? I'll use a major league reference.
Go ahead.
Drop down, give me 20 sit-ups, yo.
Did they say that? I don't remember that. I only remember that in military movies.
He told Willie Mays Hayes to drop down and give me 20 push-ups every time you hit the ball in the air. You're a leadoff hitter. You should be putting the ball on the ground and legging them out.
Yep.
God damn it, Jose. If you're going to come and bring the noise, you got to bring the right stat. Come on.
The right quote. It's an outrage.
I watch Major League.
It's an
I like the
outrage.
part when Lou Brown says, "Hey, Dorn, don't give me some of that Olay stuff, yo."
Don't give me that Olay crap.
Exactly.
Dynamite drop-in money.
I didn't like
broadcast school has really paid off.
Greatest line ever.
You know what they say about pitching? Just a tad outside.
Exactly. We don't have our full repertoire of Major League sound effects loaded today.
Tried the corner and missed.
We got to start loading some bass. I'll tell you what they're saying at spring training right now.
What?
It's not that busy.
You know that for a fact.
It's not that busy, man. It's not that busy.
I know one guy who probably had a blast during spring training.
Who?
I hear you, baby.
You know he had a blast down in spring training. Look at Robin looked over like, yeah.
It hasn't started yet, man. Listen, I
don't think it ever ended for Dutch.
I'm excited for baseball. Everybody's excited.
Absolutely,
It
man.
means that spring is coming. The
Summer's coming.
Winter. Well, no, let's get spring get here first. I want spring first.
The robins will be out,
Exactly.
chirping.
They already are out there and pooping on the car with the doves. We got a lot of doves in this town, in the neighborhood. Not just pigeons. There's a lot of pigeons in the city.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's a lot of doves. And they get fat. They're like pigeons, but they're prettier. And they coo.
They got
Did you ever hear a dove coo? Not a dove cry.
A dove is a pigeon with curves. That's what that is.
That's what it is. It's a cleaner looking pigeon.
Yeah, they sound like this. They sound crew, crew,
crew,
crew. They're so cute.
All right, we moved on to pigeon.
By the
noises.
way,
other than that,
speaking of baseball, other than that, I know one thing. I'm getting MLB baseball video game.
You are? Which one? MLB The Show?
MLB The Show.
MLB
Yep.
The Show, yo.
Yo.
It's one of the greatest games baseball ever invented. I can play that.
I go right back to it. This guy goes right to the well. I love it.
Knock home runs out of the park, yo.
That's right, Jose. Do you have anything else to report on baseball?
Up, Crosley Field. What up? Griffith Stadium. What up, Tiger Stadium?
Exactly.
Or, as they say back in the day, Briggs Stadium.
Are you going to watch the NBA? You going to watch the NBA All-Star game, Jose?
They don't play defense. That's why I don't watch the All-Star
I don't watch
game.
it. If I want to watch
I like
guys
the
make
old
trick
school
shots and
All-Star
dunk,
game.
I'll go watch the Dude Perfect dudes on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw them. They're pretty awesome.
Have you ever seen the Dude Perfect dudes, Jose?
Uh-huh.
Those guys are white, too.
Yeah.
Not that it matters, but white dudes can shoot.
Sure, it matters. Of course, it matters. Anytime you're talking about basketball, you get a chance to
Yeah, it does matter.
give a little representation to the white folks.
Exactly
Damn
right.
right, it
man.
matters.
Exactly right.
Oh, moving on. Can we give the old station one of those? Because, you know my famous drop that we always play on this show?
Yes. This one?
No, not that one. The one I say, what up?
Oh, the one.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
That one?
What up? Every time that station play that, I should get coins from that.
Yeah, you should. You should. You get nothing from it, man. It's ridiculous.
I understand that they're using all of my drops all the time, and I don't get the residuals.
They're not just using your drops. They're using your sayings.
Well, that's an homage, I think.
No.
But I still should be compensated.
We should have like a class action lawsuit or something.
We should. Jose and I should team up. And then also they're stealing your We Got Hockey action, too.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why I'm appalled, yo.
I am. I think we should get a lawyer out. I saw these lawyers in Philadelphia who are willing to help deportation victims for $1. We need to get some Philadelphia lawyers who want to. I'll give them $1.
We can't go pro bono, full pro bono.
We'll go full Sonny Bono, Sheriff Bono. What was the daughter's name?
Steve Bono.
Steve Bono. Bono or Bono.
Bono.
Spelled the same way, pronounced
Bono.
Differently, yes.
Cassidy Bono.
Cassidy Bono. No, that wasn't Cassidy. It was Charity. Yeah. Chastity Bono.
And now he's Chaz.
Chastity. That's what I said, Chastity.
I call him Chaz. I say, yo, Chaz.
Yo, Chaz.
What up, cuz?
What up?
By the way,
what up,
Dean
Chaz?
says that Vegas has the Phillies winning a total of 74 right now.
I took a bath last year against Joe on the over/under.
Yes,
It came
you
down,
did.
but it came down to the stretch to the final week. 74.
Yes.
And I get a half. Do I get a hook?
No, we're not giving you an. We don't. It's pitchers and let's wait. Let's marinate a couple of games. Let's wait till guys actually show up and start running the bases, not guys long tossing. I'm not making picks when guys are. We will make.
Oh, by the way,
a baseball
the
breakdown
first
show.
training exhibition is against. The first exhibition is against the University of Tampa. Yeah.
Right? Who they actually didn't they lose to them a couple of years ago? The Phillies. The Phillies actually lost an exhibition game to the University of Tampa college kids. I don't know if it was last year. I think they won last year. They lost like 2 years ago in spring
It was
training.
a couple years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Years ago.
I believe they will beat the University
Now
of
they're
Tampa.
back.
They are back in bed. This Phillies team is loaded. They are loaded.
Well, we actually have to say goodbye to Jose.
They got Howie Kendricks.
Exactly right, man. They got professional hitters now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We actually have to cut Jose a little bit short because we're getting ready to go to break. We normally don't take too many breaks around here. We only take one, and we're up against that one break.
All right. Anything else, Jose?
Well, it's going to be great talking baseball soon. It's just we got spring training in the WBC Classic which, to be honest, is the last Classic because they're doing away with it now.
Exactly
after
right.
This one.
I know, Luigi, a big WBC
So other
guy.
than that,
Yeah, right.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the World Boxing Council.
I'm definitely WBC,
WBC
IBF,
champion,
IBC.
IBF, WBA, WBO.
It's definitely not WNBA. I'll tell you.
You know all the organizations,
Baseball
right?
Classic.
You know all the organizations: WBC, WBA, WBO,
The IBF, the
IBF, yep,
IBF,
the IRS, NCAA, all those organizations.
The IBS.
Yes. Other than that,
I'll talk to you later, and I'll hit Joe's and Luigi's up on the Twitter sphere.
all right, man.
And
There he
Nick
is, ladies.
Rock.
Let's give Jose a roaring round of
Bravo,
applause.
yo.
That's like You got a different clap. You got a nice little clap. That's like an audience clap, like an auditorium clap.
This is a full. They don't stop.
No, it's nice.
Yeah. They didn't stop until I hit the button. But as we like to say at Jose when he's finally done.
Get out! Get out!
Exactly.
There's a new movie coming out called Get Out. Have you seen the previews for that?
No.
Looks weird.
Which one? Oh, that's the one where they're in a weird town, and it looks very disturbing.
Speaking, we went to the movie. We went to the movies together.
I know.
How great is that?
We had a
man?
movie night
We had
Sunday
a movie night.
Instead of going to watching the Grammys, we went to the movies to see my favorite new franchise,
Yes,
if we like to call
absolutely.
it. John Wick 2, baby.
That's right.
John Wick 2. And I've never laughed so much in a movie where people get blown away with impunity. We were trying to keep track of how many people.
101.
Luigi has
Luigi
101.
says he counted 101. I want to know what it actually was.
Does anybody know? We should do a trivia question. Because they've got to know. Somebody's got to know how many people Keanu Reeves' character, John Wick, kills in the movie.
Yeah, I counted. He's responsible for 101 deaths in the movie.
Now, there is a website that Luigi checked.
Luigi? What am I, a character on 227 or something?
No.
Luigi.
Moving on up. Wasn't that moving on up, Luigi?
Luigi. Luigi checked. There's a website on the most deaths in movies.
Hold on. Wait. There actually is. Wait.
So somebody figured it out? John Wick 1 and John Wick 2?
There's actually a website that says the John Wick kill counter.
Oh, here we go. Nice.
Oh,
okay,
I love it.
Good.
Let's go to the John. Well, we'll take a break. When we come back.
Oh, that's how you tease it, right, Tony?
We
Is
will
that how
have
you
the
tease it?
John Wick 1 and John Wick 2 kill counter. It's like the countdown clock to the NFL draft, the NBA draft,
to New Year,
the doomsday clock, which has been added. Another second has been added to it. We love countdown clocks on the show.
We love lists. We love countdown.
We
clocks.
got the NBA trade deadline countdown going on, a little over a week away. But we will tell you the body count.
That's what we all want.
So you will hear some lovely
intermission
music. Ish. So don't go away.
Ish.
Come right
Ish
back.
Smith, is he coming on?
No, he's still firmly in Detroit.
You have a chance, unless you took us to the bathroom with you. You now have a chance to quickly go to the bathroom, get a drink,
Get out!
and we'll be right back.
As we say, tutu just abishada.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Show starts in 5 minutes.
The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candies. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks and many other pleasing treats. Our drinks, satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
Show starts in 4 minutes. Show starts in 3 minutes.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on.
Show starts in 2 minutes. Show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
Sometimes you gotta bleed to know that you're alive and have a soul.
Yes,
But it takes
it is the
someone
Tony Bruno
to
mess,
come around.
where something always goes wrong, which makes it right, which is why you listen every single week. Now, you know, the NBA D-League, for all the dozens of people who go out and fill up the tiny arenas to go watch NBA D-League, the developmental league, they are changing it. Next year there will be no more D-League. It's going to be the NBA G-League. Not OG.
The G-League?
You know why it's going to be called the G-League?
Because, I don't know.
Because it will be sponsored by Gatorade.
Ah!
The NBA Gatorade League.
That makes sense.
You like that?
I like that.
You like that? As what's-her-face said in her porn movie with Ray J? Yeah, you like that.
That's Kim K, man.
Kim
K said that.
Kardashian, yeah. I still can't find that drop, and I can't find my video that
I
somebody
like that.
stole.
Oh, God, it's
like
the
that.
worst porn ever.
It is the worst point. Let's get some NBA theme music in here.
I can do that.
I got it right.
Okay, so we're gonna battle.
No, I'm gonna give you the
Dueling
NBA.
NBA.
No, I gave you carte blanche. It's your show. I'll give it to you.
I got them all now. I got the original, because we love the NBA on NBC John Tesh theme.
How about that video, though? The video you showed me where John Tesh actually, he plays the recording from his answering machine saying, John, whatever time it is, he's like, this is an idea I had for the NBA theme music. Goes to something like this. And then he plays it back for himself, and then he strikes up the orchestra and plays the whole NBA. He rocks the whole house with the orchestra.
Miss Robin and I were in that auditorium, which is actually on Catalina Island.
Correct.
It's the Wrigley
were you there for a wine mixer or anything like that?
No, they don't do tours.
So you
we
weren't
go
there
to
for, like, any wine
Catalina
mixer?
Island. No.
It's the ballroom.
It's a ballroom on
It's the
Catalina
Island Ballroom.
Catalina wine mixer, yo.
And it's a round building that you see in a lot of pictures of Catalina. And you can go in there on tours. There's a movie theater in there, but it's a big open space. There's a picture of Miss Robin and I standing right in the middle of it, face to face on one of the selfies we took when we went back there many years ago. We used to go to Catalina a lot with our buddies Johnny and Jackie on their boat. And it's a great ride out there. Because John Tesh did a concert in that building on Catalina Island, and they filmed it, And it's on YouTube. If you want to see it, it's phenomenal because they play this theme, the NBA on NBC theme, the most iconic one of them all.
Right.
John Tesh, the former host of Entertainment Tonight. This guy's a great musician.
No, he's incredible, but he's rocking this whole, like, what is it, like 100-piece orchestra
No,
or
it
something
wasn't
like
that
that?
big.
I don't know what it is, but it's cool. It's very,
He has
very
his
cool.
own big band. It doesn't have as many pieces, so whenever he goes out and does a concert all over the world, but the band that was on that show, the orchestra, was not his traveling band.
Okay, he was just playing
that
with
was
them.
shot. That was a special video that they shot.
It was still pretty damn cool to check it out.
Phenomenal. Violins and everything. So that was the original one, and John Tesh came up with the idea, and he plays it everywhere he goes. But I like to mix it up, so I got the NBA on TNT, which is another. I got to say this: the NBA theme songs are the best of all of them.
But the All-Star Game is the worst.
The All-Star Game is the worst.
Right.
Well, look, the NBA on TNT is that not a great theme
I'll
song?
listen to your music, but I'm not watching the damn product.
That's right.
All right.
How great is that? Listen to that. Crank that up a little bit. I can't hear it.
It's about damn time.
Had Kevin Harlan on out in Houston at the All-Star Game.
Yes, we
I mean,
did.
at the Super Bowl.
He was awesome.
God,
He's
he's
phenomenal.
such a great guy.
I think all the interviews are still up from Houston on the Tony Bruno page. Right?
I need to put up a couple more breakouts.
Breakouts, we got.
No, I mean like all the videos that we had.
Yeah, they should all be
They should be individual
interviews so people can go watch them. That's what those dorks at the Barstool Sports do, and that's why they're geniuses. They don't have a show. They just tape an interview and slap it up there, which is great. I call them dorks. They got like 1 million followers.
Exactly. I wonder what they call you.
They call me a loser.
Exactly right.
And then there's another one, though. This is another good NBA theme, Robin.
I like this.
It's not as good as the TNT or NBC theme.
It'll do.
No, it's the NBA on ESPN. Not as good, though, but it's still good.
No, it's not bad.
And then, of course, this is my favorite basketball theme of them all.
What up, March Madness?
What up, Villanova, #1 seed again?
Yeah. Unbelievable, man.
Right now, if the season were to end today, are they not a 1? They're #2 in the country.
Yeah, they're a 1.
They're a 1, guaranteed. We will do our bracketology show in a couple of weeks when we get our brackets ready.
When they get printed, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
When they actually get printed.
We will do not only our NCAA selection show, we'll do our NIT brackets, too, on the show.
Oh, I don't know. Can we
And
do
also,
Were you in the CBI? You're not going to roll the CBI. Are you kidding me?
And the other one, there's another one of those phony pay-to-play. There's a CBI, and then there's another one, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's like 2 of those besides the NIT.
Let me check it out. I know there's a CBI and the NIT.
No, there's 2 of them. There's 2 of those phony. But anyway, the G League's coming next year. Gatorade and the NBA have been together since '84, but now they're not going to call it the D League anymore because they've realized that the D League doesn't really develop many players. They just take older guys who want to come back and some young players, and a couple guys come up and down. But would you call the NBA D League a developmental league for the most part?
No. They barely develop anybody.
That's what I said.
Although the 87ers did sign Nate Robinson, which is
they did.
which helps no one.
Is he going to be in the D League
dunk competition?
When is the D League All-Star Weekend?
No idea.
You know, because all these minor leagues have All-Star games. Baseball has them in every they have them in the Pacific Coast League. They have them in the AA League. But there's got to be an NBA D League All-Star game.
Let me check right now.
But anyway, let's get back to the business. Let's get back to death counts and body counts.
Yes.
Because that's what really matters anymore to the people. We went to see John Wick. Luigi, I said, are you keeping track of the people? Now, remember, early in the movie, he doesn't kill all those people in the initial scene where he's getting his car back. He just tunes them up. He doesn't use his gun except at the end.
I don't know.
No, at the end, he uses the gun on the big Russian guy where he caps him. Remember, he shoots him in the kneecaps. That's the first time he uses his gun. I don't want to give away the plot.
No. I have to correct you there, Tony Bruno.
No, because none of those guys weren't all dead.
Tony Bruno, I am correcting you.
We have an update?
Yes.
All right, let's go to our John Wick.
First of all, let me tell you where I got this from.
Okay.
There is.
Is it a reliable source?
Yes, it is.
It's not like, what's that phony site that everybody goes to and thinks it's real? Snopes?
Yeah, no.
Snopes isn't phony.
This is actually put out by the John Wick franchise, and it is an infographic that breaks down all of John Wick's kills in the sequel, John Wick 2, and it has like a little emblem as to how he kills them.
This is the feel-good movie of the winter. Without a
So,
doubt.
Let's go.
so let me.
Well,
so,
you don't
so
leave
first
that
of all,
movie feeling good about the bad guys getting killed, because now the bad guys aren't bad guys anymore.
let me go to the original movie just so that we know by
All
comparison.
right, let's get a John Wick 1 update.
John Wick 1, the official kill count was 84. And
He
this
only
was-
killed 84
Seems
dudes?
a little low. It seems
does
a
seem
little,
a little low.
low.
That was 84, and this was confirmed by the directors. The first one was David Leitch.
Mm-hmm.
Now in John,
No, David Leitch did.
Now in John Wick 2, the kill count definitely increased.
What do you
Now,
got?
Luigi, tell what you
101.
had unofficial count.
101 was the unofficial count.
That's what he. But did you start counting immediately, like from the very beginning, or did
Well,
you?
he
just
didn't
kinda-
start killing. Well, actually, you know what? He did kill one. I think he killed like 3 or 4 people right before he got to the actual before he got inside. I can't
So
ruin the
here's-
movie. I
He
can't
was,
ruin
but
the
he
movie.
was
I don't wanna
using, he
ruin
was
the-
using his fists. He was not using any
Right.
kind of gun or
The
weapon.
only time I counted him is when they officially stopped breathing and moving.
So here, this is. I don't know if you can see Tony the infographic. Oh,
Is it like analytics? Will Sam Hinkie be watching this?
You can't see it, Tony,
Hold on
but
a
it's
second.
there.
Oh, okay.
hold on a second. Let me see if I can screen capture it really quick.
I don't want to see it. Just tell me how many damn people he kills.
Well, but somebody else might want to see it. Tony Bruno.
I'm glad they're killing Russians, though, because they are the enemy. Didn't we learn that in 2012 from Mitt Romney when he told us
Yes,
the Russians were
I
our
believe
enemy?
so. I
And
believe-
everybody laughed at him. And now 6 years later, the Russians are our enemy?
Okay, I know it. So I now have this. So now people back home can
People watching this, you mean.
people watching, yeah.
But they can't hear. People listening to it
Be right.
can't
so,
follow this.
So, but if you're listening, you can tune in later. So it's called the John Wick 2 kill count. If you want to look it up.
John Wick 2,
Yes.
Chapter 2.
So the scene where it says "You have my car," we won't go into detail,
Yes.
but right, that's the beginning, and it shows like little fists and little hubcaps
Yes.
depending on what it was that he was doing. So the shots taken were two.
He caps the big Russian guy at the end who comes after him.
100% accuracy, but he also killed people with a car and some other stuff, and it was 11 confirmed killed.
11 people died in that scene?
In that scene alone.
You can't tell they're dead, though, because he puts his, he strangles him and
Right,
throws him down. And
Now, we don't want to give away any of the rest of the movie.
Okay.
So, but it's pretty funny. You would understand this if you saw the and it's kind of like the next scene there. It's called "You Workin'."
Yeah,
you working?
And then it has like
I just say every girl I see on the street. You working?
It has different handguns or rifles and machine guns, and then it has all the different kills and.
Does it have the sommelier at the...
sommelier
is the best.
At the Italian...
Dessert.
At the Italian
So-
hotel.
We have our finest cutlery.
So then, and depending on what gun he was using, it shows how accurate he was.
Fully endorsing
So
the Australians.
handgun, with the handgun, he was 91% accurate. With the machine
Double tap,
gun,
double
he was
tap.
only 82% accurate.
Yeah, well.
And then with the end, when he was going for the robust flavor,
Yes.
he was 100%
Well, of
accurate.
course. Oh, you can't miss
for
with the
a total of
robust.
65 kills in that scene. And then, I'm just going to skip down all the way to the bottom now because there's way too many.
total number of
actual
dead people.
total kill count for John Wick 2, 128.
128, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
A roaring round of applause for Mr. Wick.
A total of
I was hoping John Wick would post into the Grammys the other night.
Just start killing everybody.
And keep the kill count going.
So
The
get this,
weekend,
so there
everybody.
was
Yeah.
a total of 302 shots fired.
Wow.
He had an 80.1% accuracy rate.
Well, they have a better accuracy rate on The Walking Dead, and they're shooting zombies. Every shot is right in the head. I know. Nobody ever misses. You ever notice?
I know.
One shot. You know how hard it is to try, if you ever shoot a gun, try to shoot a moving target, even though they're moving slowly, right in the middle of the temple?
I've only fired a weapon, one time. More than once, but one time.
Yeah, when we used to go to a shooting range.
Completely
up there.
supervised in a shooting range.
Yeah, that's what we did. We went up to French Creek Outfitters when I was their spokesperson, and they let us go in the range and shoot different guns. It was cool.
And who beat your ass, Tony Bruno?
Robin, because she's a Nazi and she came from a country where they where they all kill each other.
Say that again, Tony. What country did I come from?
The Dutch, aren't they Nazis?
No, they fought the Nazis.
I know, everybody
Thank you very
fought the
much.
Nazis.
Well,
Goodness gracious.
I'm just being like everybody else. Everybody's a Nazi now.
That's
It's
right, you're all
proven
Nazis,
otherwise.
that's it.
You're all the media's Nazis.
See how he
the
resorted
president's
to
Nazis.
Did you see how he resorted to name calling?
He went straight to Nazi.
He went straight to
Straight to
name
Nazi.
calling when I called out the fact that I was better shot than him.
No duty head, duty bird, duty juice.
Nope.
Straight to Nazis.
I use my fist, but now I'm old John Wick. I'm all John Wicked up.
All right. Well, here's that NBA update you asked me for.
How many people have been shot in the NBA? Well, how many people have been shot at NBA All-Star Weekend?
There's your number.
There's a good trivia question.
You're over under.
How many guys will be capped in the club at all the NBA All-Star Weekend parties?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Ah, come on.
Sorry, man.
Come on, man.
So listen, so the D-League does have an All-Star game.
They do. I told you they did.
It's February, but listen to these names, right? It's February 18th, okay?
Uh-huh.
It's the
That's this weekend.
The Kumo Tire, which it's going to air live on NBA TV.
That's the same weekend as
2:30 in the afternoon. It's 2:30 in the afternoon.
It's the same
though.
weekend as the NBA All-Star Weekend. Okay.
It's at the Mercedes Superdome in New Orleans.
So they bring it down there too. Okay.
Correct. So here we go. This is the participants.
I thought they played it in Grand Fork, Indiana, or something.
So Anthony Brown, Quinn Cook, Jordan Crawford. Some of these guys are already in the NBA. Like Yogi Ferrell, who's playing for Dallas right now, who's playing phenomenal basketball. He's obviously not going to play there. Let me see here. Ray McCollum, who's the backup guard for the Hornets. Let's see. The coach, former Sixer Jerry Stackhouse, is the
Jerry
coach.
Stackhouse
He is the coach of the
Is he coaching
East.
the homeboys or the away boys?
I believe it's the homeboys.
Okay.
Let's see here. Then the Western Conference. Anybody here? Vanderblue. Yeah, Vanderblue. Pierre
Love you,
Jackson.
Vanderblue. You're my boy.
Jakar Sampson is on the team.
Was he a former Sixer?
Yes,
great?
sir. And the head coach is Kobe Carl. I'm not sure who Kobe Carl is.
Wasn't she in porn?
I don't know.
I think
That's
they're
Kobe
wrong.
Kai.
That's Kobe Ty. Love Kobe Ty.
Nakumata.
So there you have it.
717-363.
So the NBA All-Star Game and the NBA D-League games on the same weekend. You don't get that kind of talent assemblage anywhere else. How many wags will be there, though? That's the question.
Who knows, bro? I can't believe that they're going to be in New Orleans and I'm not. I want to get down there so bad, man.
I do too, but not for NBA.
I need some
All-Star
Bourbon
weekend.
Street action. I need the French Quarter. I need it now.
There'll be action on the French Quarter this weekend.
Absolutely, man. I want to get down there.
You know, though, you can go to New Orleans on an average weekend and there's nobody, unless there's a big event in town, the French Quarter's not jamming all the time.
I don't really want to go there for the whole. I want to go for the culture, man, for the food. That's what I want, man.
But you got to go to the French Quarter.
Of course.
I would actually prefer going to New Orleans when there's not a gazillion billion people around.
So when it's
always fun.
Have you been during Mardi Gras season?
Absolutely, many times.
Son of a
But you can't even walk around there, though.
That's what makes it fun.
You driving around? You drinking the Hurricanes? Walking around drinking Hurricanes?
No, I don't drink that. That's the worst drink ever.
Really?
Actually, you know where I met Pat O'Brien? At Pat O'Brien's. The first time I ever met Pat O'Brien, the former host and friend of mine, was out. I'm not kidding. Mike Tirico and I were in New Orleans for Super Bowl with ESPN, and we're walking down Bourbon Street, and we go past Pat O'Brien's, the home of the Hurricane.
Sure.
Which is one of the worst drinks ever made, but the glass is cool. And you have to have one because you have to be a tourist and a white trash drunken tourist guy. So you buy a Hurricane, then you take a sip of it, you say, this stuff's crap. Why did I order it? But you keep the glass. I met Pat O'Brien in front of Pat O'Brien's.
How ironic is that?
On Bourbon Street.
It's all too literal for me, Tony.
It really is.
It's way too literal for me.
Coincidence?
I think not.
I think
bro.
not.
And people ask why they drink Hurricanes.
Why?
It'll get you drunk.
That's why. That's why.
So will
That
Sterno.
Long Island iced teas.
Sterno actually tastes better
I don't know about that.
than a Hurricane. Hurricanes are like a whiskey sour. They're terrible.
Oh, is that what it is?
No, they're not a whiskey sour, but they're sour.
Red. They're red.
But
they
they're
have
terrible. Listen, I love Pat O'Brien's. It's a great place. You can love the Hurricanes all you want. Not the Carolina Hurricanes, of course, or the Miami Hurricanes.
Nobody got time for that.
I think I've actually had a good hurricane. When we were in Honduras, they had a hurricane there that was actually good.
They're not the same as the Pat O'Brien Hurricanes.
No, I know. I'm sure that the Pat O'Brien Hurricanes are probably like they have some kind of they make so many of them. They probably don't make them. They make it like a mix or something.
Well, everything's made with a mix these days, Robin.
But in Honduras, we had one that was really good.
No, I've never had a good hurricane.
Oh.
Speaking of hurricanes.
Why are you going to me with that?
Didn't you
I
have
don't
something?
have anything.
You said you had something.
No, Tony said that he sent me something and I'm looking for it and I can't
I gave
find
you like
it.
4 stories yesterday.
That was the perfect segue.
It would have been if I'd actually have a story
I
about
hate to
Florida.
do it to you, Robin. I really do.
You want to do it to her?
We'll get a damn update.
I don't have anything from you, Tony, and not that I couldn't have found it myself, which I normally do.
You're on a computer 24/7.
You couldn't come across
I'm
nothing?
looking through
You don't even
all
have to
the.
look for Florida stories. They come for you.
Normally they
Well-
do. Well, I mean, I do have. Okay, Let's go back to Florida real quick.
I don't want to go back there now.
No?
I do.
All right, whatever. I'll play the music.
Down
Reluctantly.
to Florida.
Ruin my whole damn segue.
Bring that up until she talks. I want to hear the full.
I'll bring it up for you a little bit. But I have to watch Robin's ears because they're sensitive.
I'm very sensitive.
See, she always yells at me.
Yes, I do.
And now with this week's Florida update, here she is, Miss Robin.
Dateline St. Petersburg.
Oh, I love it down there. The beach, the sand is like sugar.
Yes, it is. Now, you've heard of Lyft and what's the other one that you have?
Uber X,
yes.
Uber cow, Uber pig, Uber
Screw-
chicken, Uber food.
Screw Uber and Lyft. Let's just call 911, shall we? If we need to get things out. 911. A woman was transported by ambulance to not one, not two, but 7 different hospitals in a 26-hour period.
What?
Trying to obtain prescription pain medication. She misused the 911 system, according to police. Kimberly,
It's an outrage.
Kimberly Keener, lovely photograph of
Keener?
This, yeah, Keener, apparently repeatedly called 911 in different hospitals in Pinellas County, trying to find one hospital that would give her prescription pain medication on a fraudulent prescription.
Wow.
And she was hoping that at some point somebody would fall for it. But she called 911. She got an ambulance to take her to these
7 different ambulances?
7 different ambulances.
Or is it ambuli when it's 7?
I don't know.
Ambuli? What's the plural of ambulance?
That is a good question.
Ambulances. Ambuli.
Ambuli. So her final stop on the 2017 pill tour was General Hospital.
Oh, was Luke and Laura? Are they still there? They got plenty of drugs.
So she's now
Including
locked up.
Botox, which makes them everybody think that they're still in the 70s or 80s.
I don't know, but she's locked up. Does he still have the perm, or is he now? Is he
I don't know. I
bald
haven't
now?
watched General Hospital, even though I know people on there. I haven't watched it in generations.
She's now locked up on a $5,000 bond bail, and she's facing probation violation. Do you think that she finally got her pills when she got in jail?
I hope so. Well, she couldn't get it from a real doctor. She had to get him from the underground.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
It is ambulances.
I know that. That's why. It was a joke.
I know, but you want to get some confirmation, man.
Oh, and you know what we were talking? I have another one that kind of goes with, because it's a follow-up of the last show that we were doing here.
Uh-oh.
Where you were talking about the mother-daughter fantasy.
Yes.
Oh, shit, absolutely.
Don't
go there with me.
That's old lion versus young lion.
You want to keep it real, you keep it real with me, because I ain't for no games.
Undercover sting launched by Florida police in
Was he watching you?
Kissimmee. A mother-daughter prostitution team is now behind bars following their arrest in an undercover sting.
But you know what'd be good about that? The sequel will be Mother-Daughters Behind Bars. You know,
Exactly.
those women in prison movies are the greatest of all time. Remember with what's her face, Pam Grier?
Okay.
Remember her?
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
Pam
yeah.
Grier.
But those weren't porn. Those were
those are soft
yeah,
porn.
Yeah.
They weren't hardcore porn. No.
But the mother-daughter team was spotted in a Backpage.com ad under sexy MILF with an awesome attitude and personality.
Well, that's it, man. That matters.
And the cop arranged for a 30-minute encounter with Tamra, and that she said that she could arrange to have her mother Tanya join them.
Well, why not?
Mamba out.
Mamba.
Mamba out, yo.
That's the fact, Jack.
No, I just know. The whole mother-daughter thing, just
because you're a mother and have
I
a
got
daughter.
a couple DVDs I'll slip in for you later, Robin,
No,
and
no.
you'll see. You'll change your mind about that.
I know.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
just that if they're not, I just can't. No.
They're not really related on the show, Robin.
No, these people really are though.
Well, there is a mother-daughter team. There's Sunset and Sunrise, or whatever their names are.
It's all about balance, yo.
No.
It's all about balance.
No.
Exactly right.
Should we should we give out the number again, Robin? Should
Yeah,
we
let's
call
give out the
too?
number. Is the video stream back up?
Oh yeah, we're back.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I don't know what
Not that there's anything to see
it
here,
has
but
something
no, there's
to
nothing
do.
to see here whatsoever.
It's a Comcast problem, and we have
Which just means
contacted
it's our problem.
Comcast over and over and over again. I've spent so many freaking hours on the phone with Comcast, and I'm about ready to say, screw you, Comcast, and
By the
go
way,
with something
speaking
else.
of scams, the Verizon announcement on last
No,
Sunday
what do you
night,
got? What happened?
Now they're coming back with an unlimited, because all these other companies, T-Mobile
Sure.
and Sprint and everybody else, they're offering unlimited. I had a Sprint unlimited everything thing when I was in LA, and it was $99 a month, unlimited everything.
Yep.
And it was a great plan. And my Sprint service worked great in LA. I could go out to the middle of the ocean and I would get phone service. I came back here, Sprint wasn't very reliable. So we get Verizon, and Verizon is super expensive.
Sure.
So
but it was
now
the only
because
one that was reliable at the time.
so Verizon, meanwhile, is getting hammered by all these ads for T-Mobile and Sprint because they all have lower rates, and they have somewhat limited data. So then Verizon announces on Sunday night, unlimited again. So I did some research today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're unlimited, but guess what? They jacked the price up so that it's $80 for one line.
Right.
But then the next line, so basically you're paying $200 a month for two phones on Verizon.
So it's $80 a line, and then if you want another line, it's still $80.
No, it's not 80. But there's a $20 charge on top of it, taxes and all this other crap. So basically, while most people agree Verizon, all these people, I can't get anything else in Montana but Verizon. Nobody lives in Montana.
But here in Philly, T-Mobile is actually fantastic. So if we wanted to switch, we could. And T-Mobile has unlimited plans.
Yeah, but there's a lot of catches in all of these plans. By the way, I'm not saying this one's bad. I don't know. I don't know anymore. All I know is Verizon's customer service stinks, and I know that Verizon charges more. So everybody's jumping up and down about Verizon's unlimited data, but there's some of these plans you cannot use your tether. You cannot use the tethering data.
Yeah, that's an outrage.
It is an outrage because that's what happens. A lot of people want to tether. You know what I'm saying, Luigi? You go somewhere.
Sure.
And you want to make your phone a hotspot, isn't that tethering?
Yes.
That data is very limited.
Right.
So you have to pay extra for that.
Well, it's
so
ridiculous.
then it's not unlimited everything.
No, it's not.
It's a scam. But people don't know that. They just see, unlimited everything. And all these companies, for the most part, are pretty much, they all use each other's equipment, by the way.
I know.
Verizon has the best coverage, but all these other places they use the same towers. These nickel and dime joints. You think like Boost Mobile and all these other $10 a month, no Cricket. You think they have their own towers up there? No, they're using everybody else's towers. These companies don't have their own cell towers. Maybe Verizon has more than these other places, but they all share tower space.
Yep.
So the bottom line is you're screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
You're pretty much screwed.
And that's why it's all a scam. It's all a scam. That's why this all, 5 gigs and 10 gigs. We go over our data every month on Verizon. And then you wind up paying extra
Well, we
for
did
it.
while we were in Houston because we were using a lot of data doing all the periscoping.
Because they don't give you enough data.
Correct.
And oh, by the way, if you use a lot of data, they slow your speed down. So it's not unlimited.
Something screwy around
There is.
here.
Lots of screwy. Who
Who the hell needs to pay $200 a month for a damn cell phone? Seriously, are you that addicted? Do you really need to talk to people every day that much? Do you need to spend $200 a month for a cell phone?
No. It shouldn't be. The only for us because of business. But other than that,
I'm telling you, I'm getting a flip phone.
No, even because
I'm
of
getting
business.
a damn flip
It's not
phone.
like you have like 500 lines running around here, Robin. I mean, it's not like you have to support so much. I mean, $200 for internet service and
No, you're talking. You're talking two different things. We're talking about
No,
phones.
my house cable and my internet is $275 a month.
I'm paying $200 a month for HD box and the highest internet and the fastest internet you could possibly get. I'm paying $200 a month. I have one HD recorder. That's it.
That's all we have.
That's all I have. $200 a month. I'm barely home.
It's crazy.
It's an
stupid.
outrage, is what it is.
It is. It is an outrage. Now, we have a couple questions. First of all, did anybody else call in?
We have to give the number back. We've only given out once at the top of the hour.
717-363-TONY. 717-363-TONY. 8669 if you're digitally challenged. 8669 is Tony on your phone. You know, like when you look on, it's what's the name? What numbers are they? 717-363-8669. which translates into Tony. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Barbecue Beef Balboa on
That's our
Twitter.
buddy out there in L.A.
That's a West
out in
Coast homie
LA.
right there.
He was listening in Houston as well. Is one of our loyal listeners, and he would like to know, Tony, he would like to know who you think the most dominant NBA player you ever saw over the years.
That's the easiest answer in sports history. Wilt Chamberlain.
Brian Scalabrine.
Close second.
Now,
but Wilt Chamberlain, the most dominant player ever. And I know you're going to say, well, he didn't win all the championships that Russell did. Doesn't matter. No other players had rules changed more than Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain, every year they would change the rules to try to stop him and contain him. The dunk rule. When Wilt Chamberlain was the worst free throw shooter in the NBA, you know what he did?
What they do?
He went out and came out the next year and became the best free throw shooter in the NBA. Anytime they challenged him and said he couldn't do it, he'd come back and do it the next year. Never fouled out of a game. The most dominant player in NBA history never fouled out of a game.
Which is
Seriously?
that's probably the most amazing stat. Considering how much time he spent on the floor, the never foul out of a basketball game.
that is amazing.
Because he always had all these white guys hanging all over him, and they would get the fouls. He would never get the fouls.
Exactly.
But the point is, Wilt Chamberlain changed the game. Michael Jordan didn't change the game. All Michael Jordan did, with all due respect to his greatness,
he played within the game that Wilt created for him.
What Michael Jordan did...
He didn't change the game. He changed the NBA, though.
Who?
Jordan.
Michael Jordan changed the hype factor of
Right.
the NBA. Remember, Bird and Magic came around. They actually elevated the NBA before Michael Jordan came around. It was Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, because they were big rivals in college, and Indiana State and Michigan State. That whole Indiana State-Michigan State thing, Bird versus Magic, really revitalized the NBA.
People will make the argument, even though I think it's kind of a false argument. People will make the argument of, well, Kareem kind of changed the game too.
And there's a lot of great players.
But again, there is a lot of great players, but you can only really kind of break it down to two or three.
Kareem was not the most dominant player of his era, let alone in NBA history.
I understand, but what I'm saying is they changed the rules for him too. So what I'm saying
because
is,
he had the little sky hook that he could shoot.
But I'm just telling you
what did they change the rules for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Tony, I'm just saying this is what some of the other people will bring to you. You know, scoring so many points and XYZ or whatever it is. But I agree with you. I never even seen Wilt play.
Nobody's even close. And as far as Jordan, what Jordan did was remarkable. He's one of the greatest of all time. But Jordan, what he was able to do was turn the NBA into a one-man game. It was all about the one guy. He marketed himself to the point where he became the icon. He was a marketing genius. Everything was about Michael Jordan.
And I hate it.
But you couldn't say the same for
not Wilt Chamberlain.
Well, I mean, he was a one-man show, right?
Yeah, but he didn't. The
he
NBA
didn't
was on
play
tape
like
delayed.
No,
the NBA finals weren't even on TV.
I know what you mean about marketability. So what you're saying is that
he took the NBA he took the marketing hype aspect of the NBA to the next level.
But if you watch Wilt Chamberlain playing, he didn't play like he was the only man on the team. I mean, it was a team.
He had a team. The 67-68 Sixers team is the greatest NBA team ever assembled.
Really?
The greatest NBA team ever assembled.
If you look back at old games versus games today, they look totally different. Because
but
back in
people
the
will say that there weren't as athletes. Listen, the athletes are much better nowadays.
Well, there's no question for that. That's
but
not
if
even
Wilt Chamberlain were alive and in his prime today, he would still be the most dominant player in the NBA because he was the most athletic. He can do anything.
I feel like I'm in Sonny Hill's living room right now on a Saturday afternoon.
I'm like in Sonny Hill's because I saw Wilt Chamberlain play. I'm lucky enough to be old enough to see him play. And I've seen everybody from Wilt Chamberlain all the way down to right now. And the LeBrons and all these other guys who everybody's been following basketball for 10 years thinks the greatest player of all. They're not even in the same class as Wilt Chamberlain.
Well, then I ask you this question, and it's been thrown around a little bit, but since you're old enough to watch Wilt play, to watch his career, and the other person I'm going to name in a second.
And not because he played for the Sixers. Wilt was great when he played with the Warriors.
With the Warriors,
it's not just a Sixer thing.
So as far as a dominance standpoint goes, overall, who was the most dominating athlete? Was it Wilt? Or was it Gretzky?
Well, in different sports. Gretzky was the best.
Sports side, I'm talking about
Wilt.
Okay.
As much as I love Gretzky.
I'm talking about, just because of the overall, I mean, the person who dominated the most in his entire sport, I think the only two you could really think of is Gretzky and Wilt. So which one would it be?
Wilt.
Considering the fact that, but Gretzky's numbers
here's the
are so far above. I mean, literally.
Here's the difference, though. Gretzky played in an NHL that still had a lot of goons in it. And the one thing that Gretzky had is that there was nobody was allowed to touch Gretzky. He was allowed to go out and do his thing, and if you got near him or you hit him, the other goon on the other team went after him, you would pay the price. So Gretzky, even though the NHL was a more violent game than it is today, he had protectors. He had guys. He had bodyguards. He had guys out there like Marty McSorley and the like who would make sure. But now look at it. Wayne Gretzky scored 100 goals. He would score 80 goals every year. Guys don't score 50 goals now. Guy scores 50 goals, it's unheard of. So you would think that the skill level would get better, right, as years go by.
Right.
The athletes are better than they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 50 years ago. Then why is it that the NHL doesn't have guys who can score? Like baseball doesn't have guys who can steal bases the way...
No, there's no more Ricky Henderson. No, I get that.
So if athletes are getting better, how come the records that the old school athletes set are not being broken easier than they shouldn't they be easier to break?
I think it's just because of longevity. I think these guys aren't playing like for now. Like you just mentioned base stealing. Just real quick, that's what you just talked about.
I'm not talking about career-wise.
No.
Season.
But I'm saying you have guys like the Cincinnati Reds, like Billy Hamilton for the Cincinnati Reds. All the guy does is steal base. He gets on base. He steals second. He steals third. That's all he does. But he's only going to probably play for like 4 or 5 years. It's not enough time.
If he played for 50 years, he wouldn't break Ricky Henderson's record. Because he's not going to play. If he played for 20 years, he's not going to break Ricky Henderson's record. There are records in baseball that will never be touched.
Well, that's
Cal Ripken's record.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's what I mean. Like the sheer greatness of Gretzky in his sport. And you're talking about the biggest hockey hater of them all. Tony, the number 2 all time is Messier, and he would still have to play 4 years of 200
I'm not debating. I'm not trying to compare sports to sports.
So what I'm trying to say is when you talk about in general of the most dominant athlete, regardless of sport, I think Gretzky is the most dominant athlete to ever play sports. Just because of
it's a good argument, but you can't compare.
Seriously, no, you can't. But I'm just talking about just as far as sheer dominance. One person who could. Because here's the thing. Bottom line, say what you want. As great as Wilt was, Bill Russell stopped him.
He didn't stop him. He stopped the rest of the team.
But he stopped. But
he had better teams around. Other than the 67-68 team, Wilt never had the kind of teams around him that Bill Russell did in Boston.
But nobody could stop Wayne Gretzky.
No,
nobody.
You're right.
Nobody. That's what I mean. He was literally unstoppable, and I think that makes him literally the greatest athlete in any sport.
Well, you may be right. If that's a debate, if you want to have it, you can have it. But to me, I was asked a question: who's the most dominant NBA player I ever saw? Wilt Chamberlain.
Yep.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of generations of people who will say LeBron is the most dominant player they ever saw because they're 20-something years old. And they may have seen the end of Jordan and the whole LeBron James career.
But you don't think there's any of those folks, like you just said right here, like the younger guys who haven't seen the Wilt Chamberlains and the.
I'm not blaming people for not being old.
But don't you think that there's some of these older folks that just won't let go of that and open their eyes and witness how great?
I witness everything. I see how great they are.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying some of these older guys who just refuse to open their eyes and witness the greatness that they're watching now with LeBron.
I do realize that.
Did I say you?
But the problem is that it's the younger people who don't understand that sports didn't start 10 years ago.
I understand that.
They don't have any historical perspective, and they refuse to acknowledge guys who play because they'll use the same excuses. I just gave you the exact reason why athletes of the older athletes were better than today. Because today you have technology, you have medical research, you have all kinds of conditioning, you've got all kinds of health benefits that those guys didn't have. Anytime a guy gets hit in football, they take him off and make sure he doesn't have a concussion. What I'm saying is those guys played and they dominated their sports and they set records that will never be broken despite the fact that athletes are bigger, better, faster than ever before.
Okay, but on the other side of that argument, though, is that you kind of have to admit the fact that back then, there was a Wilt, there was a Russell, there was a, there really was, not everybody was an athlete. Today, everyone is bigger, stronger, faster. So the competition,
now,
the level of competition is higher.
There's 6 teams in the Eastern Conference over 500.
Tony, they may be
6
stiffs.
teams. The rest of the league is garbage.
They may be stiffs, but at least they can move. They're all athletic.
None of these guys could even play with Wilt Chamberlain today. None of them. None of these guys would be. None of these guys are in the same stratosphere.
No, you're absolutely right. But you know what they would do? They would give him a little bit of a harder time than those guys did. Yes, they would, because they're a lot more athletic. Because
ridiculous.
Because he's not playing against guys. It's not Wilt against 5 other stiffs. It's Wilt against 5 other guys who actually move.
And you know what?
Everyone's athletic.
I'll give you this. If Wilt Chamberlain were playing today in his prime, he would get the same type of protection that LeBron and all these crybaby superstars
You think
get.
he would?
He would actually probably
Absolutely
be better than he was even because of the fact that he would have had the benefit of all these trainers and the health
Exactly.
thing. So
The guy
imagine
the guy
Wilt.
was an athletic freak in the 60s.
I understand. Yeah, he's. I'm saying Wilt Chamberlain himself, he could dominate so much, but look at the competition is what I'm saying. Like when people say like
Wilt Chamberlain played professional volleyball.
Tony.
All right, how many NBA guys could play volleyball?
Joel Embiid. So
because he lived in Cameroon.
Well, no, because he played volleyball. So
Cameroon.
If you look at people,
can we stop
no,
now?
no. I'm just listen. I'm making the other side of this argument. If you have the other guys that say like Jim Brown, okay, who's one of the greatest running backs in the history of the NFL. Some people say he's the greatest running back in the NFL. Personally, for me, it's Walter Payton. But you have a guy like Jim Brown. They say, oh, he'd still run over anybody in this league. Yeah, I don't think so.
I do.
I don't think he's running over linebackers today
yes, he would.
like he ran them over in 50 years
you
ago.
see some of these running backs who don't get touched?
Tony,
you don't think
have you seen some of these linebackers who are running faster than Jim Brown ever ran?
And I see all these running backs like DeMarco Murray and the guy in Dallas running through holes that nobody gets near them. So Jim Brown was a great runner. And by the way, the same linebackers who can't catch Ezekiel Elliott and can't catch DeMarco Murray and can't catch what's his face in Pittsburgh and all these other great running backs. Le'Veon Bell, you name them. They wouldn't be able to catch Jim Brown either. That's the facts. Jim Brown would run guys over, a lot of these linebackers. Run their asses over.
I don't know, Tony.
Yes. And you know what Jim Brown did? He walked away from the game healthy. The same thing Barry Sanders did.
Yeah, but
Barry Sanders walked away. Barry Sanders could have dominated in the NFL. By the way, Barry Sanders 10 times better than Emmitt Smith ever would have been.
Yeah, that's not even a debate.
Close.
That's not even a debate. That's not
But
even a debate.
statistically, Emmitt Smith is a better running back.
Well, because guess what? He happened to be the guy who got blessed to
And
get
God bless
drafted
him.
by
But he wasn't as good as Barry Sanders.
No, of course not.
All right, I'm tired of having these stupid sports radio arguments.
No, but it is.
Save that for sports radio shows that have nothing to talk about.
Listen, man, I'm just.
Take that to the meat locker.
It was. Which we'll be at tomorrow, to be honest.
I'd rather talk about the Westminster Kennel Club dog show where the German Shepherd finally won.
Damn right.
How many years since a German Shepherd win?
It's been a long time.
Like 40 or something.
It was like the
that, right?
Beagle a few years. Remember when a Beagle won and the Beagle hadn't won in like 1,000 years?
Yeah, the Beagle was due. The American Beagle, right?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
No, it was the Terrier. Was it the American Terrier?
No, the Beagle was like 10 years ago. I don't remember the exact time. When the Beagle finally won, people were like, oh my God, they gave it a... And now a German Shepherd. The probably the most revered dog in American history. Right? I know there's a lot of popular breeds, but when we were in Houston, all the dogs, 90% of the dogs that do bomb sniffing. And,
well, there was pretty
security.
much 3 different types of
there's
dogs.
The retrievers.
There's the Labradors and the Golden Retrievers, Labrador Retrievers, those types. There were the German Shepherds, and there were the Belgian Malinois.
Right.
Which are almost like
when
a shepherd.
people see German Shepherds, they think of guard dogs, right? Do they not? Is German
yeah,
Shepherd
that's what
not
you think about,
recognized? I would think if you were to do it, again, I love all dogs, so I'm not one of these, I like big dogs, I don't like little dogs. I love all dogs. But the German Shepherd, to me, is the iconic American dog. Is it not? From generation, German Shepherds are always thought, now the pit bulls become popular.
Sorry, it's so weird. I don't think of a German Shepherd as an American dog. I think of it as a German dog.
You would, you Nazi. Look at you. That's why.
They stopped those Nazis in the Netherlands from infiltrating the rest of the world and taking over the Caribbean.
That is so weird. You say so. You think of the German Shepherd as an American dog?
I'm 64 years old. In my entire life, anybody who had a dog that was a guard dog or not even attack dogs, but dog. When I see police. When I see people in their houses that had dogs that wanted to be their protector dog, the dog that's going to bark, the dog that's going to listen to you, it was a German Shepherd.
Well, okay, so maybe...
So now, that's 50, 60, over 60 years.
Maybe it is the iconic guard dog, but not American dog.
No, I didn't go to other countries. I didn't go to Italy and see German Shepherds.
But I mean, it is the German Shepherd.
I bet you there are more German Shepherds in this country than there are in Germany.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yes. And you know why? And actually, that's probably one of the reasons why the German Shepherd has not won in so long. And I don't know if you guys know this.
Because they're into all these foo-foo dogs now.
No. So here's one of the reasons why German Shepherds have, in the last 30 years or so have had issues here in the United States. The United States.
We have a German Shepherd update.
Well, no, I have an American breeding update.
Let's go to the breeding line and a woman who's bred many times, not only for herself.
Have you been poking around my DMs? Is that what it is?
Not only breeding
those of you-
two fine children, but also many cats and dogs in her day.
Yes.
Miss
For
Robin.
those of you who do not understand the breeding program of dogs, here in the United States, it is not as strict as it is in Europe. In Europe, when you want to breed and you want to have a purebred animal,
Is this an AKC certified update?
no, this in Europe. You have to get permission from your breeds association. So we raised golden retrievers. We had to take our dog, our female bitch. We had to take her number that was tattooed into her ear. Now they have the little chips. But she had a tattoo in her ear when we purchased her.
Isn't that what the Nazis did in Germany?
No.
Oh.
And
Really?
then, well,
Come on, Schindler, take it easy.
Yeah,
man.
there.
Jesus.
And
I'm
we
sorry,
had
I'm obsessed with all
to
the Nazi
then
talk that's going on everywhere.
take the male stud that we wanted to breed her with, and we had to take both of those numbers and match them up and submit them and get permission to breed them. And then they checked the genealogy to make sure that there would be no issues of inbreeding whatsoever. So then, as soon as the puppies are born, you register them, and then they would get tattooed, so that there was never any doubt as to
What does that have to do with the German
But
Shepherd
here
winning the
in-
Westminster Kennel
well,
Club dog show?
let me tell you, here in the United States, you didn't have that problem, and they had so many inbreeding problems because people didn't care. All they wanted to do was get the money, and they would say that they were purebred, but they didn't care whether they were inbred or not. And so the dog, the genes went down in quality. And there were huge problems here in the United States. And they were overbred and they were over inbred. And so that's how come German Shepherds had a really bad time here, because they were so popular.
Yeah, all I'm saying is they're very popular. That doesn't
And
mean they
now-
had a bad
but I
time
think-
here.
But I think that American Kennel Club has done a great job in the last 10, 15, 20 years or so to try to get breeds to become more
You
close.
realize the Westminster Kennel Club show, dog show, is like 100+ years old?
It's like 144 years old.
Yeah, it started in England.
Donald Harrison on Facebook said I used to watch Rin Tin Tin as a kid all the time.
Exactly.
I mean, German
I
Shepherds.
think the German Shepherd, it's because, I'm telling you, it's not because of all that breeding stuff that Robin mentioned. It's because they don't consider German Shepherds attractive dogs.
Joe Killen on Facebook says, how come Pitbull didn't win? They didn't stop the party? What happened?
Oh, you all having a good time now?
Now,
Give me a little Pitbull, man.
You know what? I actually got a little Pitbull
Give me
loaded.
just a taste for just a second.
Y'all having a good time out there.
I'll tell you what, if I ever drink a Budweiser product, I would probably be listening to Pitbull.
Damn right, man.
Now, does it say anywhere? I don't see in the article how long ago it was that the German Shepherd
Luigi
won.
had the breakdown yesterday. How long has it been since the German Shepherd won at Westminster? And I'm mad because I completely forgot it was on. It used to be a staple of my show.
It was always on.
I used to have,
we used to have- yeah.
David Fry's not with it anymore.
I know, but we used
So
to
I'm
have them on
boycotting since
every
David
single
Fry
year.
left. They had what's his name doing it last night, I found out. Chris Myers from Fox was doing the Westminster Kennel Club dog show.
It's an outrage.
I did not know that. Chris is a friend, but him doing the Westminster Kennel Club dog show? He goes from sidelines at the Super Bowl to the dog show? The hell's going on out there?
Let me see. How long ago?
Robin's watching some crappy CBS, NBC, ABC show with 5,000 minutes of commercials in it. So she didn't even realize. I was the one who always said, make sure we watch the dog show tonight. And Tuesday night's the big finale. And I missed it.
I thought you just said that you were boycotting it.
Robin, are you
I would have watched the Best in Show. I
Are you
would have
getting that
boycotted.
information?
No, did you find it?
I'm trying to pull it up.
I'm looking for a dog expert.
Does somebody say here? Did anybody else? It's the only that. Oh, somebody here. It's the second time in history that a German Shepherd's won.
We know that one already. It's 141 years.
And it's only
Last
2
time
German Shepherds.
Anybody know? Anybody?
Well, if it's 144 years and it's only the second
141
time
years,
it's
yeah.
happened, that's ridiculous.
It is.
The fact that the German Shepherd hasn't won a Best in Show in 141 years is not an outrage?
It's an outrage.
Goodness gracious, I can't find it anywhere.
I saw more German Shepherds in Houston than any other dog breed because the police, go to any police department, they're using German Shepherds more than any other dog.
And you know what? At least as from about 20 years ago, 95% of those German Shepherds were shipped over from Germany.
Until how long ago?
I know that 20 years ago is when I knew
we're
people.
We're not talking about 20 years ago.
I know, but I'm wondering if it still is today.
I don't think so. Just because. So all the other dogs that have all the different origins are all bred in those countries and brought over here?
No,
of course not.
No, I'm saying that 20 years
are all
ago.
teacup Yorkies coming from Yorkshire, England?
My cousin was a K-9 officer in San Bernardino County, California, and those dogs they almost exclusively German Shepherds that were K-9 dogs, and they were shipped over from Germany, from a trainer breeder in Germany.
Well, we'll have to do a breakdown segment on how many dogs in this country are from Germany, and if they have papers, because you better have papers to get in here, or they'll be part of the band, the German Shepherd band. It's ridiculous. We should start recognizing the classic breeds in this country. Everybody wants to shoo-shoo, frou-frou, French, or all the French poodles coming from France, Robin?
No. Oh, the
Why
last.
do they call French poodles then?
You're totally missing my
or
point.
Or all the Lhasa Apsos from the Alps, or wherever the hell Lhasa Apsos come from.
No. I'm just saying that any dog that becomes incredibly popular, there runs a chance of there being overbreeding.
No doubt about it.
And
Pit bull. You don't think pit bulls are overbred?
Yes, absolutely, and that's a huge
1987.
problem.
What?
1987 was the last time a German Shepherd won. God,
how long ago was that?
Forever,
87, 97, 2007.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. 30 years.
Man, it took forever. The first ever one was Fox Terrier. Smooth.
Last year?
No, this is in 1907.
Oh, okay. The first year.
Fox Terrier Smooth was the first one. A lot of terriers, man. Scottish Terrier, Fox Terrier.
Yeah, because there's like 15,000 breeds of terriers.
The Bulldog in 1913.
The Bulldog just won. Didn't it win last year? I think the Bulldog
won a couple years ago.
I think the Bulldog won, and
it was a complete upset.
It's always, dude, Terrier, everything. Scottish Terrier, everything.
It's about time we're paying attention to the old school classics.
I think you got the Boxer in 47 and 49.
I'm talking about the modern era.
So Eric McCauley said, "Hey, that's why we have cloning now."
Exactly. That's true. That is true, man. Tony, you're right. In 2015, it was the Beagle.
Right.
In last year, it was the.
Wasn't it a Bulldog?
No, it was a Pointer. The German short-haired Pointer.
Okay.
And let's see. And then it was just terriers and terriers and terriers.
One of the things that I love
and
watching...
shaved poodles. They love the shaved
poodles. They love the poodles, man.
And they look so dorky.
They always say that when they come out there, too, like, oh, here come the poodles.
Yeah.
Look at the nails and look at the... like. They
and
look
they're
like,
so stupid
They look
looking.
like whores is what they look like. They
look
look like whores. They look like whores, yes. The poodles, when they're all shaved up and they got their nails done.
But they don't want it done that way. That's the stupid owners have to shave them up.
If they can close down the circus... because of the way they treat the elephants, I think they can close down the Westminster Dog Show the way they cut the hair on these damn poodles.
And they look stupid.
They
with
look
the
ridiculous.
little balls. They have like little poofy ball
I'm
things.
telling you, the poodle is the slut of the dog world, man.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they just
are.
look, they're made to look that way. Now,
Are they French whores? Can we say that without being in trouble?
Even the males are cut that way, which is just really, really sad. By the way, one of my favorite things is to watch the different lopes of dogs, like the bigger dog breeds.
The cantaloupes and the
antelopes.
Like if you look at a German Shepherd, the way it's that it's not a full out run. It's not a walk. It's a lope. No,
Okay.
where it's a lope. It's not a run. It's not a walk. It's in between.
Not Davy Lopes.
And you
Davy Lopes.
The German Shepherd has such a classic way of running.
Oh, man.
I love it.
He said not.
There you have it. This show went to the dogs about an hour ago.
It did.
Who let the dogs out, Luigi?
I don't know.
Do we have any more phone calls ever?
I'm checking constantly.
It's ridiculous, man.
See what's going on here. No, we're clear right now. We're starting to wind down. That's
actually
why.
we're at the end of our dos.
So recapping, in John Wick 1, how many people were killed, Robert? 84. In John Wick 2, 128, the
Correct.
body count, if you're scoring at home. And if you go see John Wick 2, I recommend it.
Yes.
If you want to see a movie where the bad guys get killed, that's a good movie.
And
you want to see a show where the good guys get killed, 24 Legacy. Started off with, what's his face? Remember when it was 24? Who was the dude that was in it?
It's Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland. He killed all the bad guys, the terrorists. Now, apparently, I was reading the other day that this new 24 Legacy, the bad guy always turns out to be the white dude. So when you think it's a terrorist, turns out that the bad guy is not the terrorist. It's the white dude.
Got him!
Exactly right.
Got him!
Plot twist, yo.
It's ridiculous, man.
So
remember when the bad guys were bad guys and the good guys were the good guys?
Exactly, man.
And the homeboys were the homeboys and the away boys were the away boys.
Yes.
What the hell's happening out there, man?
Jeff Hickman says nobody breaks down dog shows like Tony Bruno.
Damn right. We used to have David, no matter what, whether I was Fox, ESPN, Sporting News, I would always have David Fry the Wednesday morning after the dog show.
He was coming on.
Breaking it down.
You would,
He would go on the Today Show, Good Morning America, and then my radio. I was the only radio show that ever had the Westminster Kennel Club recap
You broke
segment.
down dog shows.
It's not the meat
and you
locker.
also
It was a breakdown. We didn't even have to show film.
You also broke down MMA before anybody else did.
Before anybody even knew what MMA stood for.
That's why
Before
Dana.
Luigi even knew what the MMA was.
That's why
No, I was fighting in back alleys back then, brother.
In 2000, you were an MMA fan.
I told you, I had 4 amateur fights, man.
Did you hear the interview with Dana White?
I listened to the interview.
So yeah, Dana White. I mean, he says he's like you had me on before anybody else, Tony.
Damn right, man. I'm a front runner. I'm a forerunner, not a Toyota.
Not a
Forerunner.
Jesus.
I'm at the trends before they become over. I'm there first. I want to be first.
If you ain't first, you're last.
You're damn right.
As Ricky
I don't
Bobby
mean
once said.
we're like going with bad information first, like a lot of people do.
Right.
So
I
like,
want to get it right.
So like those.
So I was with UFC before anybody knew what UFC was.
So you're kind of like in the Howard Stern. If there's one of those chicks that's going to do like try to break the record of how many people she's going to screw,
Exactly.
you're going to be the first one. You don't want to be the last.
MMA. I was on it before 90% of the people who now claim to be MMA experts. The Bella Twins. I knew them before anybody knew who they were. And they became big-time WWE divas. I knew them when they were just twins.
Baby.
Exactly. So you can say I'm an old guy, and you'd be right. But I considered it learned. Not Michael learned.
You're going to learn today.
We're here for one reason and one reason alone. To learn. Remember who said that, Robin? What line's that from?
I don't remember. I obviously did not learn it that.
You remember?
Obviously did not learn it.
You remember
did
the
that.
great movie with Morgan Freeman?
Which one?
The one
He's
where
been
he
in
was
a gazillion of them.
The principal of the North Jersey High School.
That's Joe Clark, man.
Sheriff, not your teacher. Well, he was
Principal Joe Clark.
Principal Joe.
You
Clark.
call me Batman.
That's right. Remember he says to these kids?
Yeah.
When he's in the raucous gym, we're here for one reason.
Right.
To learn.
Right.
That's what this show is all about. I learn something every